Alan Jones was a broadcasting powerhouse. Now he's in court fighting charges of indecent assault and sexual touching. To follow the trial, what's alleged and how it's challenged, search for the Case Law podcast on ABC Listen or wherever you get your podcasts.
ABC Sport.
On ABC Sport, this is the AFL.
The $1 million man for the Gold Coast Suns. Andrew, kick on goal, scores are level.
Sit back, relax, witness the greatest. And don't get better than this.
This is Houston. Hard up against the boundary. That is magnificent. Off balance. He's curling it towards goal. That is marvellous.
See, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Let's fly from 52 and rides it all the way home. So close. The Cats have it again. It comes to Dangerfield. He's been everywhere. Down the side bottom. Side bottom. Doing what needs to be done.
Welcome to the 2026 AFL Premiership season on ABC Sport. On radio, on digital, and ABC Listen.
You take a seat, 'cause it don't get better than this.
Cardinia Park has been in the spotlight since Thursday for its waiver to a current player aimed at absolving it of any legal responsibility from future brain trauma. That player, Jake Kolodjasny, revealed himself last night as the person in question, and the 2022 Premiership defender is an emergency for today's match against Essendon. There are no late changes, though, for this match between Essendon and Geelong at Cardinia Park. It is the 7th-placed Cats coming up against the 18th-placed Bombers, and Essendon hasn't defeated Geelong in their past 9 encounters. They've had an awful record against the Cats across the past 20 years as well. Dean Solomon said he won't apply for the top job full-time at the Bombers, and Essendon and Richmond continue to remain in a battle for the wooden spoon. My name's Lauren Borden here at Cardinia Park this afternoon. The locals are saying there's a little bit of rain about. There are grey skies as Essendon run through the banner and make their way onto Cardinia Park. Geelong to follow in a few moments' time. We're about 13 minutes away from the opening ball-up of this match in Geelong today. I'll be calling alongside Andrew Mays. Hello to you, Maysy. Driving along down the highway this afternoon?
I was, yeah. No, it was lovely, actually. The weather's turned a little bit sour on the way down here, but still no rain as of yet, which is good. But I don't think I've ever come into a game with... I mean, this reminds me of the days of the Essendon saga, like the amount of focus on a club away from football. Yep. And that's the other team, Essendon, have got a coach potentially being appointed in less than a week. So, and they're not the story. So it's been, quite a remarkable build-up to this one this afternoon. Hopefully, Essendon can turn up and give us something to call that will be nice and interesting this afternoon.
No, it is a great point. So Dean Solomon said he's out of the coaching ranks. They've done their final interviews, Essendon, across the last week or so, and you're right, it's been all about Geelong today. Tim Morgan will be on the boundary for us this afternoon, and the AFL coaching legend, Premiership player Mick Malthouse is alongside me. Hello to you, Mick.
Go, Lauren and Andrew and all our listeners. It's I feel almost drained.
Yep.
Just outside of what's happened. Let's get away from the non-football stuff. The last game. How MCG. It's interesting for those that don't know how this all works in here. We've got our studios. We go outside and there's a sink with you get some hot water and you might be able to get yourself a cup of tea. That's about all we get down in Geelong these days. And but there was a TV down there. There's a few watching it, Maisie. We're all...
Yep. I didn't move for, I reckon, the last 35 minutes. I sat down with a cup of tea and I reckon I could have made 3. It was magnificent. And what a game of footy.
And we were both saying that that was out.
Yep.
There was 2 of those that were out that weren't paid out, so it was one of each. Then was that a free kick? And how's that a freak goal?
Yeah.
And what does... I mean, I know we're talking about Geelong and Fremantle. I've got to be... Geelong and Essendon. But I've got to say, and the first thing I said to Maisie was... This is devastating for Fremantle. A visit the MCG, that's where they want to win their premiership. Big score against them, big score. They didn't play bad football, but they were beaten by probably the most improved side of the year. The coach of the year, in my book, no question the coach of the year. 6 wins last year, already got, 12 or 14, I think, so far this year. And big bearings on the way the ladder... not is structured, but how now do we all of a sudden we raise Brisbane to favourite, even though they're not even in the top 4, and we say it's all before Fremantle now if they want to make their play, because they're not going to come back to MCG until, if they're good enough, last week. But having said that, today we watched a game. Geelong, to me, I know they've been in the news, not the players. It's been a club thing. I always had this thing about Geelong in September. They are never out of it.
Yep.
They've got a side that is so experienced as playing in September. It doesn't matter whether they're playing here. They won't play finals here. They'll play all their games at the MCG. It suits them. They know how to play it. They've got a very good back. I know they've got a couple of players out who potentially will come back in, but they've still been able to manage to win games. Essendon on the other side of the coin, it doesn't matter. They could have 10 coaches if they want. It's going to be a miracle for them to get out of the bottom 4 next year. And maybe because of Tassie coming in, it's not going to do them any favours with what players are going to go to Essendon. They're going to retain the ones they've got, and it's a hell of a job the way I'm seeing it. So I can't see them getting anywhere with... I know that this is a big statement, but if they get within 10 goals, they're going pretty well today.
Well, it is one of those matches that you're driving down the highway and you do start to think about margins, and that's the chatter out there is about Melbourne and Fremantle, but it's also about, how big do you think the margin is going to be in this game?
Yeah, and you hate saying that because you want to give Essendon supporters every hope. There's some kids down there that will play their heart out. There's some that need to... we're talking about Merritt. What happens to him? How does he play? Look, he's had an indifferent year. He's had some good games, had some poor games. I'd be very surprised if he's here next year at Essendon. So does that give them... And I think rightfully they should let him go to a club that wants him and get as much as you can in young kids come through, or at least draft picks and utilise them, because Merritt's not going to be part of their next final series, let alone the next grand final. And as far as the Cats go, I still got question marks on a couple of players when these other blokes will come back. One is Martin. I don't know whether he's doing enough all day to keep the side. Close has been in and out of the side. We noticed that Colin Jasney's out of the side. He hasn't been included today, has he?
No, emergency.
Warple's another one. They got, really went out of their way to get from Hawthorn. He's been good when they've been good. He's been horrible when they've been horrible. So, question mark on that. So there's still a little bit to be worked on with the Cats.
Mick, I do want to ask you about Jake Kolodjasny and the waiver. You were part of AFL Saturday today with Corbin Middlemass and Luke Ball, and you were able to go into depth in that today. You can find that on the ABC Listen app under ABC AFL Daily. You can catch up on everything there, and you unpacked it with the head of the AFL, Andrew Dillon. We'll just have a listen to what he had to say about the waiver, and then we'll have just a quick discussion about it. Obviously, you did cover it really well. We've only got a few minutes before the opening bounce here, but we'll listen to what AFL boss Andrew Dillon had to say a little earlier on today on AFL Saturday.
The statements from Craig, who's current AFL president, but from his time back at Geelong, also the current Geelong president, and the CEO who's taken responsibility as the CEO. I don't think it was a deliberate attempt to circumvent anything, but we're waiting to hear back from Geelong on that.
Yep. What do you think the intention of it was? Why would they have a waiver in a contract?
Oh, look, again, I can't talk for them. I think what they were trying to do was make sure that Jake understood the risks, and I think that's entirely, and that would happen at a footy club, not just in relation to concussions, but in relation to a lot of stuff that happens when you're dealing with doctors and medical experts, making sure that you understand whatever it is that's happening, and that happens in sort of everyday life when you're going into hospitals and the like. So I think it started with that, and then I think it said there was an overreach and it shouldn't have been there, and the clubs acknowledged that.
But you didn't know at the time that this was in place?
No, the AFL and people within the AFL legal and insurance and risk team, on the back of the concussion panel, which is convened by the AFL, so this is back in 2023 or 4, spoke to Geelong about, on the back of the panel with the player wanting to come back and play, about making sure that there was an understanding in relation to the risk and making sure that there was an understanding in relation to the consent.
But you didn't know that was in a waiver form?
Didn't know that it was necessarily in a written form, or that there would have this other provision in it.
So that's Andrew Dillon and Corbin Middlemass speaking a little earlier on today down at the MCG. Mick Malthouse, you were part of that discussion. You asked a really good question when you said, would you have wanted your son or your daughter to have sign that waiver? And Andrew Dillon probably couldn't give you a real straight answer to that. Where do you think this situation is sitting now after it's been going on for Thursday, since Thursday in the public, but something that's been worked on by Jay Clark, who broke the story since the very start of the week?
Well, clearly something, Geelong have now been asked to comment.
Yep.
So I think what we need to do now is to see what comes out of that, how Geelong are going to approach it. How they going to explain it away, I think it's the most important thing here, is that why have it if they believe that it wasn't going to be binding anyway? And, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure his brother was...
He retired early.
Yep. Were they spooked because of all this? And there's no doubt in my mind, hanging over the head of every football club in Australia, regardless of rugby, union, football, maybe even soccer to a degree, they're all in a position where they are fearful now of what is in front, court-wise, players putting their hand up, the amount of money that could be involved, what inference will it have on the ground? Is there going to be a judgment made by someone who in the industry is going to say, well, you no longer can have certain things. You've got to wear helmets. You can't have bumping. You can't have this. You can't. So we may well see out of all this at the end of it, and I don't necessarily from this little incident here, but overall we may find that the game has to change, has to come into a understanding. And let's face it, Luke Beveridge was spot on. When you're a young player, you're playing. You'd sign your life away to play football. But I think now we're getting parents more and others that have got more advice, maybe even wives, and I'm talking about men playing football here, the wives saying, well, look, I'm not sure I want to be nursing you when you're in your 40s or 50s, and we're seeing that at the moment. We are definitely seeing that. Make no mistake about it. I spoke to a player just recently, Paul Seedsman, and he's in real trouble. And he's a beautiful young man who set out to play for Collingwood, ended up playing in Adelaide, and then couldn't play at Adelaide. So, but he's fortunate; he's got a good family around him. But not everyone's going to have that, and even then, it's the ramifications of those people. So, who takes responsibility? Is it an AFL thing? Is it a football thing in general? Is it the individual? Is it the football club? No one's really established that, and these are the things that will unfortunately we're going to be finding out probably in the next 12 months or so.
Because there's a lot of legal reasons that come into this. Was this waiver even legally bound, given that it comes outside of the player, the standard playing contract where there's occupational health and safety and a safe workplace that every club has to provide?
Lauren, you know as well as I do, and in the last 10 or 15 years, we've had players sign things that they shouldn't have signed. Yep. It's led to a horrible results for clubs and players. I cannot in my own mind think why a club of Geelong would remotely even think that it was a good idea. And those that were in charge and those that have seen this, and we know it's from the board down, this is not an isolated thing like say we say at Adelaide over the salary cap deals, which I don't think the board were a part of. This is from head to toe. What made them think it was a good idea, and what made them think that these things could be, maybe down in Catfield, maybe the little town away from Melbourne, that you think a lot of things can be hidden away and not necessarily make it up the highway. Well, this has, and I think now as the league dig deeper, which I don't think they will, but there's going to be a lot of journos that will dig deeper and start to find other things that, not necessarily for Geelong, but maybe the whole organisation. That there's things out there that we don't want. They don't want out. We do, and we're going to ask the same question: why would you do it? Yep,
we'll find out. This will keep unfolding. We are about a minute away from the opening ball-up of this match here, Geelong and Essendon at Kardinia Park. I'm sure the Cats will be very happy to finally be able to take the field. Lauren Borden and Andrew Mays calling the action. Mick Malthouse, your ABC Sport expert, down in what I think is a little bit of drizzle coming down at Kardinia Park is Tim Morgan. Welcome to you, Tim.
A little bit is maybe the optimistic way to look at it. It is certainly starting to fall down here. It's going to be slippery conditions for the start of this one. The Bombers have won the toss. They'll kick to the right of your dial, so towards the players' stand. Around 30,000 expected in the house, and it's sitting at around 15 degrees. You're not wrong. I reckon Geelong's going to be pretty happy to get on with the footy. So much for both these teams, and the build-up has been about things off the field. I reckon Dean Solomon and Chris Scott between them faced about 2 questions on this game heading into it. So it's going to be exciting to finally see the ball bounce, and these two teams can put an interesting week behind them.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate your contribution. Geelong have won 21 of the past 24 between these two sides. They're at it again. Geelong and Essendon on ABC Sport. Here's Andrew Mays.
De Koning to Smith to Stewart, who it was an interesting starter in the midfield. Smith will get it back and kick inside 50 for the Cats for the first time this afternoon. Off a couple of hands. Now Polkinghorn in there. He's tackled immediately. And we'll have a ball up just inside attacking 50. So Tom Stewart started in the centre bounce. He's already assumed his normal position about a kick behind play, directing traffic down below. Artemis with a quick kick for Essendon. Kako thought he might have marked it. Umpire said, nope, play on. So he turns around, kicks as far as he can. O'Sullivan up. Don't worry about the wet conditions. Connor just stuck out that right paw and it's stuck. Lovely intercept mark, and he'll switch player across half back to Jack Henry.
Retro round as well for Geelong. So they've got the collared Guernsey out there today, and the blue shirts, a little bit more navy blue on their jumper than you normally see for the Cats.
Love the collar on most jerseys, actually.
Yeah,
looks great.
It's a good look, isn't it? Mick, you would have played with the collar. Yeah,
I played with collar, lace up. Richmond, I had the lace up. It was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
And heavy. Oh, my God. When it got wet, the water stayed in it. But I tell you what you couldn't do, get caught when you had they had to grab the body all the way around you. You couldn't grab a...
you couldn't really hold on to it, yeah.
No, you couldn't, because it was sort of like a canvas.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it really was. And it was lined as well. So when the water went in there, you went from an 80...
You were like a soggy football.
82-kilo play to about an 87-kilo. Honestly, that's fact.
Definitely not like what they've got today. As it's thrown in, Blitz halves goes in after it. It's picked up by McGrath of the Bombers. Hand pass to Merritt. He gets taken high by Ollie Henry. And make sure the umpire sees it. And Zach Merritt will have a free kick in the centre of Cardinia Park.
I know people get sick of me saying this when I come down to Geelong, but if you don't have a 5-man... If you don't have a 6-man forward line, you play in the hands of Geelong because they cut you off so easily. I'll be interested to see where the Bombers stay with that 6-man forward line.
Merritt to Redmond to Pryor, who pops it into the right forward pocket. No mark can be taken by Durham. It's punched out of bounds, and it'll be a throw-in. Players stand end of Cardinia Park. No score yet. 2 minutes played in the opening term.
And what happens, that 6th forward generally comes up into midfield and adds to the stoppage, but sometimes you have to sacrifice that and say, well, look, I've got to keep the ball, keep our players forward, so don't let Geelong have the fall-off player because they'll murder you if they do.
De Koning won it down in front, only as far as McGrath, though. Gathers, drop the footy, play on, out to Setterfield, now to Merritt, who snaps to the top of the square. Big collision. Bruin roved it beautifully front and centre, looking for a way out, and that's a cheeky little kick around the corner. Lovely weighted ball for Lawson Humphreys, who takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50. He goes to the top of his defensive goal square, finds Tom Stewart. So huge switch. Merritt ran interference, but close, good enough to take the mark in the long sleeves at left half back in his customary work up and down the park.
He pops it back defensively, and Jack Henry's able to run onto it. It bounces a few times before it gets to him, but never in too much danger. He's able to kick out wide to O'Sullivan, who takes it and hand passes it as he's being tackled across to Myers, outer side of the ground. Just dabs it on his boot, and we'll find Blitz halves right half forward. And he can hand it off to Mullen, who puts it on his boot. Will kick it right to the top of the goal square, looking for Wiltshire. But it gets punched away by Kondogiannis of Essendon. Through for the first score of today, that's a minor one. Geelong lead by that one behind. 3.5 minutes played. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Yeah, Geelong were able to really get that loose player on the wing, which they do so well because they outnumbered Essendon in the back half.
Reid with the kick-in duties, goes as far as he can at the fall of the ball. Durham, just a kick around the corner is good to Caddy, who's led up, but he hardly had anything in front of him, so Merritt had to run. He received the hand pass over the top to Kako, who had Wright running into the pocket. Didn't see him, though. Back to Merritt. His kick is half smothered. Stewart tries to get a hand in there. Well roved by Caddy. Back to Merritt. Runs inside 50. Kick centrally is good to Durham, who started it all. He goes quickly and finds, might be Pryor, who might have drifted forward. He has, finding himself a long way up the park. starting deep in defence, and he'll line up from 30 out directly in front.
And that's a classical case of keeping your forwards intact, and they were able then to split the Geelong defence, and Geelong didn't have that extra player who could then manoeuvre into the spaces, and as a consequence, the Bombers found space and found double space.
Jackson Pryor hasn't kicked a goal this season. It's probably why you heard a little bit of the surprise in my voice. And he hits the post. 30 out directly in front. You've got to take your chances down here at Kardinia Park.
Do you ever?
1 apiece after 5 minutes in the opening term.
He couldn't do the Ryan Lester of last night and get a rare goal, the defender going forward. Lawson Humphries takes the kick in for Geelong, kicks it out to the outer side of the wing. Dempsey with a ferocious tackle stops the ball from going any further. Bringing down Artemis to the turf of Kardinia Park, and there'll be a ball up. Hickey stands side of Kardinia Park. Some rain falling. We started just moments before the opening ball up of this match. Atkins takes it. He's taken by 3 Bombers, and it'll be another ball up outer side of the ground. Scores a level 1 point apiece. Early stages of this match at Kardinia Park. McGrath takes it, hand passes it into some space. Blitzars is there to pick it up. He hand passed it in the Smith direction, went past him, and Bailey Smith will tackle sharp to the turf. Love the ball up, still in front of the Hickey stand, but very close to the boundary line. Scores level.
Blitzars wins it down. Atkins fishing for it. Snapped it on his left boot. Cleared the congestion. Running out strongly, Polkinghorne. Ricocheted off a couple of pairs of shins. Polkinghorne's tackled towards the boundary. It's caught underneath his feet, almost ripped away by Sharp. Couldn't do so, so we will have another ball up. They've inched it 10 or 15 metres further forward here, the Cats. From the stoppage, trying to get onto it with Smith. It ricocheted off his boot into the middle of the ground. Caddy presenting. He started strongly. Missed his target with the hand pass, though. Day Wicks came surging through. Might have been taken without it. Umpire wave play on. Gets to half forward for the Bombers. Wright couldn't get his arms free to the last minute, and he turned it over when he did. Hand pass was intercepted there by Guthrie, who's taken in a strong tackle. Clark arrived just in time for support. There's a whistle. Umpire waves play on in the end. So it is Wiltshire who goes forward, and then Neil drops what he normally should have taken in the wet conditions and spills the mark out of bounds. Left half forward here for Geelong. 1 behind apiece. 7 minutes played opening term. Ball in to take place about 60 from the Cats' goal.
So a little earlier on today, as we mentioned at the start, Melbourne defeated Freo by 4 points at the MCG. Geelong aiming for a top 6 spot if they can win today, and their final 3 matches of the season are on the easier side when it comes to ladder predictions, as the kick comes inside, forward 50, opening goal of the afternoon. Ollie Dempsey running in, gathered and snapped, wearing 2 different coloured boots, and put the ball through to the Selwood stand end of Geelong. They break through with the opening goal. 1-1-7, Essendon the 1 behind. 7.5 minutes played, and we've got the opening goal of the match. Geelong ahead by 6 points.
Well, I can only say about Ollie Dempsey, the games I've seen him play and the ones I've watched on the telly, I reckon he would be really right up there to win their best and fairest. He's just so consistent. He's the prime winger, goal-kicking winger of the competition, and has been for the last 2 or 3 seasons. He's only a young man, but 1, he can take a big grab. 2, he reads the play so well. Didn't use his left foot there, just bent the ball around right foot. He is an absolute cracking player.
Vicentini won it down, but straight to Blitzars, who just gets it on the boot, but he gained good meterage. Atkins picked it up beautifully in the wet and put it on a plate there for Shannon Neal, who takes it on his chest. 40 out from goal. He's about 15 metres in from the boundary in the right forward pocket. Downstairs, Tim Morgan.
Yeah, James Warple just came from the field straight to the doctor, pulled the finger back in, so he was clearly dealing with a finger issue there. They're taping it up now. It doesn't look like it's going to be a concern about him playing on.
Thanks, Tim. So Shannon Neal is about to line up. Normally a beautiful striker of the footy. He'll kick from 48. It's a high ball. It's shaping back beautifully. And he turns to the terraces and says, what about that one? Couple in a row here for the Cats. Slower start from them down here. But now the opening 2 goals in the first 9 minutes. And the momentum is starting to roll with the Cats. 2-1-13 plays 1 behind. 9 minutes gone opening term.
Yeah, you're right, Mosey. They do not require a lot of possessions to kick goals. Their forward line was very open. The ball was just kicked out in front of him. He had to go and get the ball. That's the best way to do it. If you kick the ball on top of their head, too easy spoil. Make the player work. Too much speed and too many options for Geelong. Quite frankly, that ball came out of the centre very quickly, and Essendon just had no resistance.
So very quickly, Geelong are up by 2 goals as plays restarted back in the middle. Bailey Smith gets there first, takes it, and swings the kick out to the outer wing beneath the Hickey stand. It's picked up and taken by Sharp, though. Hand pass to Artemis, hand pass to Merritt. It's in the hands of the Bombers. Hand pass to Johnson. Long kick all the way to half forward for Essendon. Wright comes barging through. 2 hands, can't take the mark, but it falls to Perkins. He can release McGrath, who's running into the forward 50. He was dispossessed of it. Just tackled enough to get rid of it out of McGrath's hands, and it'll be a free kick to Geelong and to Bailey Smith. Takes it, puts it out to right half forward where Clark's there, dropped it, but was able to pick it up and hand pass it to Lawson Humphries. Curls it around the boundary line to Myers. And he hand passes it to Mullen, who's taken by Wright. Has to get a hand pass away. Merritt's there. Keeps it in play. Johnson on the turf at Cardinia Park. Can't pick it up for Essendon. Perkins comes in. He's happy to take the tackle from Ollie Henry. And it'll be tackled out of bounds, and we'll have a throw in beneath the Hickey stand side of the ground. You can see there's a little bit of fumbling with the wet weather as the sky just gets darker here in Geelong this afternoon. The Cats ahead by 12 points. 11 minutes played in the opening term.
Toss back into play on the wing. Ground level taken strongly is Sharp, going nowhere. We'll have a ball up. Just forward of centre wing now for the Bombers. Kicking towards the players' stand in this opening term from the stoppage. Manor almost scored at the last moment. Just affected his kick. It bounces across half back. Enough time there. Atkins, who gets it to Martin. Martin on his left, up towards left half forward. No mark taken out the back. Ollie Henry almost got there. Had to turn tackler. Ball bouncing around. I think it might have been off boot. It was. It is going to be a lasso free kick. Now, which way will it go? We're going to have a little bit of a conference downstairs with all 3 umpires getting involved, both boundary and the field umpire.
I thought Roberts was closest to that, but it looks like Jackson Pryor.
Same here. I would have sworn that's a Geelong free kick.
I thought it came off the boot of Roberts, but it's going to go the other way. And just some advice being given from the front row there, which is good as well, down here at the Cattery. So Pryor's going to end up with a free kick, despite Roberts being closer than anyone. So I think the umps ruled that it came off O'Connor's foot. Now, it was Tom Stewart in front of that pack who got involved in a little bit of a shove, and then I think he put Perkins to ground and he was too far away from it. So free kick to go the way of Archie Perkins. He's going to switch things from right half back to left half back. It hangs in the air for a long time. Lets in Shannon Neal. But Reid was good enough just to control the footy. Back to Langford. He goes out wide. Almost out. Yes, it is.
Well, that's just terrible play.
Lasso free kick.
Yeah.
Poor skill considering the conditions. And how about skill coming the other way? The last man you want it with a little bit of time is delivering inside 50 is Myers, and he puts it on the chest of Ollie Henry, who'll go back from 35 out slot angle to the right.
Yeah, he's a beneficiary of Myers. As you say, he shapes to kick the ball on from 180 degrees, and it will go any degree of that 180. In this case, he's just swung around his body and found an easy target. Henry just knows that if he leaves in the right spot, he's going to get this football. A terrible turnover by Essendon, though.
So Ollie Henry comes in and strikes that one nicely. 3 on the board for the Cats. And they're almost looking more ominous than the clouds here this evening. 3 in the first 13 minutes. It's an 18-point margin. 3-1-19 plays 1 behind. Mick Malthouse, your expert on ABC Sport.
Well, I'm just going to read a couple of stats here. And I think what it does, it just shows you that football, you have your MO, you have your modus operandi of the way you play, you have strategies for the day. One of the strategies on a greasy day is something like this. Geelong have had 28 and 14. Essendon have had 20 and 20. Now, it doesn't seem a big difference, but one is saying, I'm going to kick the football, not over hand pass. The other one is under pressure, hand passes, loses it. And even their kicking, going lateral on a small ground, on a narrow ground like this, you can only get into trouble, which they have done, and it's cost them a couple of goals.
Yep, and they try again here. Essendon as Caldwell tries to put it out wide to the wing to Lalachka. Couldn't mark. Spills down to Farrow, though, who can take it and kicks right down the wing. And there is a free kick on play, and Perkins takes it and passes it to McGrath. Left half forward for Essendon. It's McGrath actually with the free kick. He just spears the pass inside forward 50. It spills out the back. There might be a chance here for Condogiannis. In the end, it's Jack Henry who picks it up and is able to run it through for a minor score for Geelong. It's Essendon's second score of the afternoon, are behind. Geelong lead by 17 points, 15 minutes played in the opening term.
They move this one quickly, the Cats, all the way up towards Martin, who's on the wing. And Reid comes across for the Bombers to make sure it goes out of play. Already forward of centre, just forward of centre, wing this ball in to take place. Cats into attack. 17 points the margin. Opening quarter goals to Dempsey, Neal and Henry. Ball tossed back into play. Blitzarves in the ruck against Vicentini. Warple. His kick travelled about 5 metres, but Blitzarves was good enough to grab it. Chucked it on his left boot, kicked a torp inside 50. Reid read it nicely, but Neal was able to grab that jumper. Wouldn't it happen in your day, Mick, and drag him over the boundary line and force a stoppage inside attacking 50?
I'm always amazed at that even now that you're able to get tackled inside the ground, and if you get taken over the boundary, you sort of go for it. It's still, to me, you've still got the ball.
Pushed in. Here is Neal doing the ruck work for Geelong. Pushes it down. It ricochets back to him. He tries to go for a crafty kick. Comes off for Close, who can take it. Hand pass to Ollie Henry, who keeps weaving left and right and wants to go, but the umpire will pull it back for a free kick. And it will be an Ollie Henry free kick.
Well, I think he's very lucky. They've called it over the shoulder.
Oh.
He's had his arm out. He's pushed people on the chest. He's balked and weaved and been caught 3 times. I'm not 100% sure this is a good decision by the umpires.
There were plenty of bodies in that passage of play.
If anything, I thought they were going to pay it for a high fin.
It had to. Well, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
There just seemed to be a couple of those before he was grabbed over the shoulder, so he got away with it, I think.
So the kick will come from Ollie Henry towards goal. He's got one already in this first quarter. That's just a minor score. So it might have been against Artemis for a very light high, if that's some way you can describe it. Geelong ahead by 18 points, 16 minutes played in the opening term at the Cats' home ground, Cardinia Park.
Merritt takes the kick in. He grabs a few metres and kicks as long as he can. Perkins, front and centre of that pack, got the hand pass to Caldwell, and he just got the kick away. Would have been holding the ball otherwise. Warple tracking it back now. Stewart and Warple. Ball bobbling around a little bit. De Koning had a fumble. Allowed Perkins in. End over end. Kick is okay, and Caddy playing in front takes the chest mark.
Well, he's the shining light of Essendon. And to sign the contract before the season finished, that's a hallmark of a kid that just wants his club to do well. If anyone can kick a goal from here, it's him.
He's going to have to kick this from 53. 15 metres inside the boundary. It's not the best. Slews off the side of the boot, lands in the forward pocket and punched over for a boundary throw-in.
That's an interesting type of kick. It's not a drop. It's not a drop punt. It's not a torpedo. It's a mongrel.
It was, absolutely. So stoppage for the Bombers here, deep inside attacking 50.
Right in the ruck, contest gets front position and pushes it down. Clark's there to gather, though. Hand pass to Wiltshire. Hand pass to Guthrie, and Geelong can clear it outside of defensive 50, putting it towards Close. Left hand, right hand, just can't hold on to it. Falls into the turf. Artemis comes in after him, tackles him to the ground and pulls him in.
I'll just go back to that stoppage. Geelong cleared so easily. Essendon had no 9 o'clock player in a position where they've got a ruckman who's going to dominate in right. Just clearly in the wrong positions.
So Vide and De Koning are in the ruck again in this contest. Smith tries to get it out. The ball bobbles its way inside forward 50 for Essendon, but it'll be a throw-in 45 metres out from goal for the Bombers.
And this is another stoppage here, Lawrence. So I'll be interested to see whether Essendon just get in the right spot. So we got... Who's that? That's... Oh, no, they're still out of position. They've got no one covering the right shoulder.
So it is right that just runs in, gets a tap out down. The hand pass can come to McGrath from Kako. He kicks towards the goal. It bounces once and it's through the left-hand side for a minor score for Essendon. That's 3 behinds for them in this opening term. Geelong a 3-2-20. 19 minutes played in the opening term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. 0437 774 774 if you'd like to get in touch with us throughout the afternoon.
Tom Stewart with the kick-in duties, goes as far and as high as he can. Front and centre Wiltshire gets to the fall of the ball, then he's taken in a tackle, going nowhere. Ball up to take place about 60 out from the Bombers' goal. Ball tossed up, right, won it down. Well, as far as Sharp, he's tackled. Let's head downstairs, Tim.
Yeah, the Bombers bench have taken a good look at these clouds. They've conceded the rain isn't going anywhere. I've been watching a staff at work for about 5 minutes, waterproofing the screen down there. It's got a poncho on. It's got that much duct tape. If it was a Christmas present, it wouldn't be open until Boxing Day.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate your inputs from down there. As the kick comes out to the top of the goal square for the Bombers, O'Sullivan tried to gain control of it. He was dispossessed, comes out the back. Stewart's there. Hand passes it straight to Farrow. Tic-tac-o for the Bombers. Has a snap at goal. And it's offline. Very hurried, but just a minor score for Essendon. The margin cut down to 16 points the way of Geelong.
Short kick out is okay. Finds Atkins. He now goes as far as he can. Polkinghorne and Henry were the targets. Now the umpire not closest to the footy has paid a free kick. It's going the way of Langford. So Langford on centre wing.
There's no lateral movement here from the Bombers because the ground...
It's a horrible kick from Langford. He couldn't have picked the three cats out more perfectly in the middle of the ground at centre half back.
Well, he was too close to the man on the mark, and there was nothing lateral, so he just stood and just kicked it. For a senior player, that was quite horrible.
Short kick from De Koning. He goes to Clark. He was also the one who put it out of bounds on the full, which led to the goal a little earlier. Short kick from Humphreys to Smith, who's called to play on. Goes by hand back to Humphreys. He relieves things across to Clark in defence. Short ball is okay to Warple, and he can go back to Clark because he kept on running and no one kept chasing him. So Clark goes out wide to Connor O'Sullivan, a little too high for him. He gets a hand on it as it skews off for a boundary throw and to be tossed back into play on centre wing. 16 points the margin in favour of the Cats. 21 played opening term on ABC Sport here at Cardinia Park as the rain continues to fall.
That was a good play by Essendon. Keep the ball in their front half. It's now in their terms to stop it moving forward, which they haven't. But
Atkins takes it, spirals a kick all the way to half forward for Geelong. On the turf, it's picked up by Close, and he's tackled to the turf by Zach Johnson. We'll have a ball up at about half forward for Geelong. Kicks 3 goals in quick succession during this first term to get out to a lead. Essendon just kicking behind so far as Close takes it. Takes the tackle from Farrow as well. It's picked up by De Koning, who's the in for this match for Geelong. Inside 50, he sends the ball. But there'll be a free kick on play, and Jackson Pryor will win it against Jack Henry. He takes it and he chips it out wide where he finds Artemis, marks, and he can flare it to Langford close to the boundary line on the broadcast side of the ground. Hand pass to Redman, kicks very close to the boundary, but it looks like Kondogiannis can mark about a centimetre in from the boundary line.
They're looking board, that's fine, but at this ground there's no chance of that. It's this narrow ground. You've got to go quick and you've got to go forward quick.
High kick from Kondogiannis. Hand pass over the top towards Caddy. Oh, it's a shocking turnover there by Day Wicks. Just gave it straight to Wiltshire, almost as if he was wearing the red and the black. Long looping hand pass to Warple. He goes out wider still to Bruin, and now to Wiltshire, who kept on running. Kicks inside, attacking 50. Ollie Henry trying to get out the back. He did. The ball did too. He runs on to it, paddles it to his own advantage. He's inside the forward pocket. Off to Neal by hand. Works the 1-2. Back to Henry. The unselfish kick to the top of the square. No, it's out of bounds. They ran out of room in the first place before Polkinghorne could get anywhere near it, so it'll be a ball in to take place next to the right behind post. 16 played opening, 16 points the margin, 23 played opening term.
Tim Morgan, I think you might have a bomber coming towards you. Alachka looks like he's making his way off to the bench. We'll check in with you in just a moment as the ball's about to be tossed in inside forward 50 for Geelong, up by 16 points. 23 minutes has been played in this first term. Shannon Neal just pushes it down, but it'll be cleared away by Artemis. Gets it out of defensive 50 for the Bombers. Clark's there to tap it down to O'Connor. He has it. Hand pass to Guthrie. And it'll be another entry inside 50 here for the Cats. It works beautifully for Bailey Smith. The kick coming into the forward 50. And Sharp just couldn't outmuscle Bailey Smith from the ball. Stuck out of hand. Gripped the mark. It's a very tight angle. Bailey Smith will take his shot at goal from about 45 metres out from goal, and he'll start his approach from the advertising hoardings.
Yeah, that's a very good mark. One-on-one. Had to negate his opponent, was all over him. That's a really good catch.
Bailey Bailey Smith from 45 metres out. Tough angle in the end. Will kick it to a hot spot across the face of goals, and it's punched through for a minor score. Geelong ahead by 17 points, 24 minutes played in the first term. Tim Morgan on the boundary.
Yeah, you picked it. Alashka was very slow to get off the ground after a contest on the Bombers' forward 50. He's come off. He's been in the hands of the doctors. Tape being heavily applied to the top of his right quad.
Well, right. It'd be a bruise, I'd say. I thought he copped one in that contest more so than a strain.
Good kick from Pryor to Sharp to Farrow. Kick inside attacking 50 is pretty good, but tracking back was excellent by Blitzarves, who's spending a fair bit of time in the ruck this afternoon. He takes the intercepting mark. Away to Jack Henry and now to Jack Martin at left half back. Well, that's not a good kick from Jack Martin. Blitzarves at his age doesn't ever be bending down to pick up those awkward half volleys, so he recovers okay to Smith, to Stewart, and out wider still. Now to Clark, who dabs it in short to Mullen, who can get and go here at right half forward. He does, plays on immediately, puts it towards Neil. Good spoil by Langford in the end. Neil just shoved him in the back. And that is a free kick against the Geelong big man, who probably was a little bit frustrated. And gives away the free.
Very laborious work by the Bombers to get the ball from the back half. Geelong just moving so quick because they've got that extra player. I keep saying, once they've got that extra player, they just create that movement.
Langford down the wing. Byzantini couldn't mark. Spills down. Warple's there. Pushes it forward. Manor will pick it up. Hand pass inside 50 to De Koning. Hand passes back to Mullen, who was overrunning it. So Neil came in. Helped him out. Hand passes it to Dempsey, who works it inside to the forward pocket where Sean Manor's standing. And the lively forward that is Sean Manor marks the footy, and he'll have his first shot at goal for this afternoon.
You can bet it's a shot. No one's got blinkers like he has.
Out of Werribee, another great find that Geelong's been able to pick up. It's just been
consistent,
continually, improving across the last couple of years.
Well, he's a goal kicker, isn't he? He just when he can kick big.
Yes.
He can kick 3 or 4 or 5 goals.
So he has a chance to kick his first right foot banana. He tries to move it through the goals with his body, but it's offline to the left-hand side. Means Geelong's lead. He's back out to 18 points. Tim Morgan on the boundary.
Yeah, just further to the mixed point, Al Lashker has been straight on the bike, so that would suggest definitely with the tape that he's trying to work out a knock as opposed to anything more sinister.
Yeah.
Long high kick from Roberts to left half back. Blitzarves does the roving. His hand pass intercepted though by Langford. Into congestion. Centrefield tracking back inside defensive 50. He's wrapped up immediately. Ball up to take place 40 from the Cats' goal. Thrown up quickly to Koning, and Vicentini reading it nicely was Myers. Looking for the short kick around the corner. He does so to Dempsey. Mark, yes, says the umpire, as he slides in on hands and knees and takes a mark 40 out directly in front.
Yeah, beautiful kick. Again, makes the player come to the ball. Almost impossible for the defender to get his hand to it because the kick is out in front. The player who's intended to mark it has to reach forward. The defender, all he can do is hope that he drops it. And there's nothing. The defence was fine, but it was such a beautiful kick.
Already won in this opening quarter. Ollie Dempsey trots in from outside 50. Kicks with the purple boot. He's got the aqua boot on the left. The purple boot on the right's working well. He's got a couple of this opening term. 4 on the board for the Cats. 4-4-28. Plays 4 behinds. Margin 4 straight kicks. 28 played in the opening quarter.
Yeah, well, the game's going predictably. The way we thought pre-match. Just Geelong are cleaner. Make the most of opportunities. Essendon have had their inside 50s have been, I'll read it out, 9 to 12. It doesn't 9 to 12. Yes, it's 75% less than the Cats, but they've never, outside of the first shot by Pryor, they haven't looked like kicking a goal. Everything has been strained, hard work. Geelong, when they go forward, they go into an open forward line, and they go into an open forward line because they've got a running player from behind that's able to cross over, get the football, use the football, and make the most of it.
From the middle again, it's De Koning who tries to pull it out for Geelong. Wiltshire with it at half forward. Hand passes it to Close, who's streaming inside forward 50. He might go all the way himself. He does. It's offline. For the moment, it leaves his boot. Just sneaks it through for a minor score. So it's 25 points Geelong's advantage. Ollie Dempsey, like Maisie mentioned, with the two different coloured boots. I'm guessing when it comes to retro round and your jumpers, no one was wearing two different coloured boots in your day, Mick?
Yes, some wear white. Those are the big heads, and most of us all wore black.
Punt back into play. Caddy presents beautifully. He takes a really strong mark. Doing a lot of work up the ground this afternoon. He's at left half back, takes the grab and was going to centre things, but is told to kick down the line. Long kick towards the wing, punched away. Wiltshire taking in a good tackle. Ball spilt free to Merritt at the last moment. Got the hand pass away to Kako. Kako looping hand pass is okay to Daywick. Steps inboard. His hand pass, so it just put Durham under all sorts of pressure. Cats were outnumbering easily there. Dispossessed at the last moment is Myers, but it's not going to matter as the siren sounds. And a predictable opening quarter here from the Cats. 4-5-29 plays the Bombers 4 behinds to open that quarter. The goal kickers for the Cats, 2 to Dempsey, 1 to Neil and 1 to Ollie Henry.
Yep, like you said, Maisie, pretty predictable opening term there. 25 points to margin at quarter time as Geelong continue on their recent run, or really it's longer than recent when it comes to their dominance against Essendon. They have won the last 9 consecutively, looking for a 10th today, but have had the wood against the Bombers for the last 20 years. At quarter time, Geelong and Essendon at Kardinia Park. It's the Cats ahead by 25 points. The second quarter to come in just a moment. This is Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Every community has stories worth sharing. ABC Your Say is your chance to join the conversation. Tell us what's on your mind. Visit abc.net.au/yoursay.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
The kick comes inside, forward 50. Opening goal of the afternoon. Ollie Dempsey running in, gathered and snapped. Wearing 2 different coloured boots. And put the ball through to the Selwood stand end of Geelong.
Vicentini won it down, but straight to Blitzarves, who just gets it on the boot, but he gained good meterage. Atkins picked it up beautifully in the wet and put it on a plate there for Shannon Neal, who takes it on his chest. He'll kick from 48. It's a high ball. It's shaping back beautifully. And he turns to the terraces and says, what about that one? Lasso free kick. Yeah. Poor skill, considering the conditions, and how about skill coming the other way? The last man you want it with a little bit of time is delivering inside 50 is Myers. He puts it on the chest of Ollie Henry. So Ollie Henry comes in, strikes that one nicely. 3 on the board for the Cats. Run up quickly to Koning, and Vicentini reading it nicely was Myers. Looking for the short kick around the corner. He does so to Dempsey. Mark, yes, says the umpire, as he slides in on hands and knees. Kicks with the purple boot. He's got the aqua boot on the left. The purple boot on the right's working well. He's got a couple of this opening term.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio.
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And ABC Listen.
So all 4 goals in that opening term going the way of the Cats. The Bombers held goalless, just kicking 4 behinds. In that first term, Geelong with a 25-point lead at quarter time. Lauren Borden and Andrew Mays calling the action. Coaching icon, premiership player Mick Malthouse is our ABC Sport expert today. Tim Morgan is down on the boundary for us at Kardinia Park. A rainy Kardinia Park it is this afternoon. Another game going on at the same time as us at Sydney taking on Port Adelaide. 8-6-54. They've just kicked another goal. 9-6-60 the Swans are currently ahead of Port Adelaide 4-4-28. If you'd like to listen to a full call of that, it is available on ABC Listen.
Just on that one, Loz, too, they've kicked 6 goals in 13 minutes this one.
Jeez.
So it was pretty much even, and they've really put the foot down in the second term.
So there you go. That's happening with the Swans, who want to shore up their second spot on the ladder. A few texts coming through on 0437 774 774 from Phil from Canberra. Love the discussion about old footy gear. In the early 70s, I was given a second-hand pair of Darryl Baldock branded ankle-high boots with his signature, with a very small heel. As a Tassie boy, I thought they were pretty special. I was no Darryl Baldock. So there you go. High ankle boots is something different than what we see today. And from Joe in Queanbeyan in New South Wales, with Tasmania bringing in a weekly bye, is there talk of a 20th team? Well, that's where it's probably going to be headed next, whether it's Western Australia might go for a third side over in Perth, Darwin, or maybe even near Queanbeyan in Canberra, potentially Maisie.
Not to be, not to link the two directly, but this is where the concussion thing is so important, because the AFL obviously don't want a situation where there's a huge legal bill. We know in the NFL that's probably the best case study. I think it was over $760 million US dollars. That was paid out in 2013 which is well over $1 billion Australian dollars, in 2013 to, I think, about 18,000 former players. So that's what the AFL obviously are trying to avoid as much as possible. And things like that can stop the 20th team coming in. So that's why I know it's a bit trivial looking at the financial side, but that is the reality of the situation as well. Obviously, player safety needs to be paramount. So, yeah, I think they want to get their sort of ducks in a row there, the AFL, and then think about the 20th team. Let's get Tassie in first, eh? Let's get a stadium.
Let's go one box at a time. Tick one box at a time.
But, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that the 20th team does make sense. The challenge has been laid down too from Peter V'landys and the NRL. They will have a couple of extra teams coming in over the next few years. So the challenge is there for the AFL to try and match them and keep expanding the game as much as they can.
So here at Kardinia Park, it is Geelong ahead by 25 points. You did mention it was probably laborious when Essendon went inside 50. Mick, that summed it up beautifully, but it has gone as expected in the first term.
Well, unfortunately, for football lovers, certainly for Geelong, they'd be happy. Essendon just had opportunities, but the difference in quality is stark. When Geelong move the football, you see open space. They use the football correctly. They have marks inside their front 50. They've gone 100 possession to 80, so that's 80% of what Geelong have got, and that's about right. There's too much reliance, I guess, on Merritt, who's had a fairly good day. He's had 9 so far. Not a lot's come from him, which I've never really thought that he's a great... I guess if he had better players around him, the result of that 9 positions may well be better. What else is there talk about? The missed opportunities, I guess. There's been 2 that are fairly well documented. There was one from... it was a Pry having a shot, hit the post. The others, Caddy had a shot from 50 and kicked it across the face of the goal. But by and large, everything is working out for what Geelong want. They're non-stressed. Unfortunately, for Essendon, they still get that play behind the ball and set the play up, which I think Essendon need to do something about.
So the Cats are up by 25 points as the second quarter gets underway. Atkins hand passes it to Mullen, who puts the kick inside forward 50. Langford tries to get control of it for the Bombers, loses it. Roberts comes in and takes the footy, and Humphreys pulls him down to the turf.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So at the moment, Essendon have got 6 fours. So perhaps there's something could come of it now if they can win the football.
Visentini with a little tap out towards Sharp. He can put it all the way to the wing for the Bombers. Need a McGrath to get front position on Stewart.
Can't do it. Too good, Stewart.
Yep. And Tom Stewart wins the footy for Geelong. Goes inside 50 to a pack that's forming. Bailey Smith. It wasn't Bailey Smith, in fact. It was Koning who went up, couldn't pull it in, or he'll get a free kick anyway.
Paid the mark.
Oh, they paid the mark.
Yeah, I'm not... He had a fair bit of it. It's just a matter of whether the last little bit where his hand was hooked away from it, whether it becomes a free kick, I guess, but he certainly paid the mark. But again, the difference is that 1-on-1 in the forward line, Stewart too good. Can't blame Clark. He was just outbeaten. He was beaten by a better player, and the ball goes forward. And De Koning marks it. Again, too good for him.
Sam De Koning marks as he's falling to the turf of Kardinia Park from directly in front of goal, 45 metres out. He skews it all the way far right. Doesn't even register a score. So the margin won't change from that quarter-time margin. 25 points, Geelong's advantage.
Short kick is okay. Temis has it, and he gives it back there to Roberts. Wasn't the most convincing kick towards right half back, but they're going to win the footy anyway. Sharp, a handball through traffic, skids on and on. Trying to pick it up on the run is Perkins, but picking him up at the same time was Bruin in a really strong tackle.
I'd just like to explain that just for our listeners. Essendon broke beautifully, got the ball out, hand passed to a player who was in trouble. The forwards were set. 6 forwards, 4 to the ball. That ball gets kicked. It doesn't matter if it's a haphazard, chaos ball, whatever you want to call it, it becomes a contest in the front 50. The extra hand pass, Geelong player just gobbles him up. Lucky it wasn't a free kick for holding the ball. Just the difference between the mindset of getting the ball in the forward line is just stark.
Tossed in. Left half back here for the Cats. Humphreys in there, tackled by Kako. He's going nowhere. We'll have another ball up. Still left half back here for Geelong. Essendon looking for a way forward. Tossed up quickly. Vicentini wins it down. Well done by Sharp. Able to poke it forward into a little bit of open space. Durham's there tracking the footy. Left it, in fact, for Day Wicks. He kicks it towards the boundary. Oh, it's going to be Lasso free kick. So unlucky. It actually drifted outside of attacking 50. And that's a Lasso within about 30 centimetres at the 50-metre line.
So the kick will come down the line from Wiltshire, who took the free kick all the way to the AFL logo. Langford's there to collect, though, for Essendon. Hand pass to Redmond. He wants to switch it, well, to nowhere in particular. In the end, the kick just goes into the centre of Kardinia Park. And, of course, it's Tom Stewart that lands with it.
Yeah, not only that, the kick was just dreadful.
Hand passes it to Guthrie, puts a kick inside, forward 50. Mark can't be taken by Reid, which means it'll stay in the hands of Geelong. Martin hand passes it across to Smith. Running back and forward, hand passes it to Dempsey, hand passes it out to Myers, has to track it back outside attacking 50. Smith takes it. This time he puts it on the boot. It's a high ball that just drops for Caldwell. He can take it and he wants to move it on quickly. Hand pass to Artemis, who just chips it down the line. And he can find Johnson or Mark. Right half back for Essendon. Takes it and thumps it on his boot. Gets plenty of distance on the kick right down the line, but it's Guthrie that'll mark for Geelong, and they'll be able to intercept it as he moves it back to Stewart.
Stewart into the middle, finds Humphreys behind the centre circles, flares it out wide to the run of Jack Henry, who keeps on going on the wing, puts it inside attacking 50. Martin drifting across, first touch and the second, but it is going to be a free kick. Behind that, Neil had gone to ground, or in fact Ollie Henry is going to receive the free kick. And he'll line up from 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle to the right.
I think there's just a bit of panic by the Essendon backs. I'm not sure about the free kick. Let us have a look at it again. But it just seemed to me that there was... Oh, yes. Yeah. So that's Langford drop. Langford, I'm sure it was Langford, pulled back too hard in front of an opponent without looking at the ball.
So in comes Ollie Henry for his second. This time towards the players' stand. And he kicks truly. 5 on the board for the Cats. They are looking very good this afternoon in a tune-up for bigger things to come later in the season. 5-5-35 plays 4 behinds, margin over 5 goals now. 5 minutes played, second term on ABC Sport. Mick Bolthouse.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be political here and say, I've said it years and years, the season is too long. Top and bottom sides, Essendon are playing for nothing. They think they're playing for pride. They think they're playing for their future. They're playing for nothing. Yep. Geelong are playing to safety, to make sure you're nice and fit, ready to go into final series. And the gap is so huge. So the longer the season goes, and particularly with the rules, the sides that are the better ones just keep getting better and better and making a mockery of the contest.
And Bailey Smith will go again here for Geelong. He kicks it down to the very top of the 50. Redmond gets a hand on it, brings it down. Manor trying to barge in and take it. Roberts takes it. He hand passes it away. It's a good tackle from Martin that lays it on his opponent inside forward 50. And we'll have a ball up.
Free kick.
Oh, free kick.
Yeah, hold the ball.
So Martin wins it against Day Wicks. And he just chips it forward and he finds Myers. It was all of 15 metres and that was about it. But Myers will mark and have a set shot at goal. 45-degree angle. He'll kick from about 45 metres to get Geelong's second of the second term.
Again, just waking up that 45 metres is probably too far with the wet. Essendon are all falling back to the goal square. Geelong use their brains, come forward, meet the ball, and as a consequence, having a shot.
So the rain's starting to come down harder here at Kardinia Park this afternoon as Graham Myers lines up, swings out, hacks this one towards goal, tries to swing it back through after starting it right, but it misses to the right-hand side, and that's a minor score for Geelong. The lead now out to 32 points, 6.5 minutes played in the second term. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
First behind of the afternoon for Myers from the kick in. Bruin roves it nicely off to Humphreys, caught on his left, but that's normally no problem. Kicks inside attacking 50. Oh, everyone jumped to the footy and it landed in the lap of Ollie Henry waiting out the back.
Well,
and he wants to play on quickly here, Henry. From 53, goes all the way, and it's away to the left. for 1 behind. Had the journey. 5-7, plays 4 behind. Margin 33 points. But this is looking dire for the Bombers this afternoon.
It's Merritt with the kick in. Out he goes to the outer side to a pack that's there. It's taken and hand passed away towards McGrath. His hand pass just goes into some space. He was looking for Sharp. Atkins beats him there for the Cats. Hand passes to Clark. Hand pass to Guthrie. Across to Close. Hand pass to Ollie Henry. He gets out of a tackle. Then hand passes to some space. Looking for Warpool. Can't pick it up. Johnson's in there, or Setterfield rather, for the Bombers. He can't take it for them. Close goes in after it. Hand passes it to Blitzarves. Inside forward 50 Geelong is. Dempsey comes in there. Will snap it from no space at all. And he doesn't need any space, Ollie Dempsey. He has his 3rd goal of the afternoon, and it is only the 2nd quarter. Last week he had 29 disposals and 2 goals against Collingwood. And he's now got 3 goals this afternoon, and there's a long way to go. 6-7-43 Geelong. Essendon haven't scored a goal, just 4 behinds. It's Geelong ahead by 39 points, 8 minutes played in the 2nd term.
Yeah, that was... I think if anything happens here, I'd say that Chris Scott will be just wrapped in the way they bludgeoned that ball 15 to 20 metres, body after body after body, just kept on hitting the Essendon body. Ball comes to ground, clean hands by Dempsey, picks it up, and he's not only going to be best and fairest here, he could be an All-Australian without a shadow of doubt.
Well, I was going to ask you that, Mick. As a pure winger, you'd have to pick him almost as the All-Australian.
Well, I totally agree. I just think he's outstanding.
Setterfield with the clearance for the Bombers. A chance to go inside 50. Humphreys just read it better off the boot than Kako. Humphreys on his left this time. Switches play across half-back. Guthrie takes the mark.
It's just all too easy. Everything that Geelong are doing at the moment, they're doing... Essendon, I'd like to say they're trying hard, but at the moment they've just been so totally taken the cleaners.
Sullivan in a pocket of space, and then Martin just hand passed it to space, was probably taken without it, and then was a bit crude in his tackle over the top, showing his frustration. And the free kick will go the Bombers' way to Johnson. Gets to his feet. It wasn't a great hand pass, so he received it back straight away, and then kicks a long high ball to right half forward. Right fighting hard at ground level. Ollie Dempsey doing some work across half back this time. Hand pass over the top to Mullen. Mullen looks inboard. That's a good kick too to Clark. And they're on again here, the Cats. Out wide O'Connor. He's got no one in front of him. 50 metres away from the nearest player. Takes 2 bounces in the wet. Thinking about a third. He does. What about a fourth? No. Kicks inside 50 to the top of the square. Mark taken by Ollie Henry. Beautiful footy from the Cats, but it was all too easy to the top of the goal square. And Ollie Henry will join Ollie Dempsey with 3 goals on the board. He's going to kick around the corner. Bit of a hurry here, Ollie Henry, to get things going. Goes back to the top of his mark. Kicks around the corner and has 3. 6 between the 2 Ollies, Henry and Dempsey. And the margin is growing and growing out to 45 points. We've only played 11 minutes in this 2nd term on ABC Sport. Before Mick Bolthouse, let's head downstairs to Morgan.
Bit of a worry here for Brian Myers. He came from the field a couple of minutes ago with the physio, and then ever since then he's been pacing up and down, trying to stretch out his right knee. He's still certainly having some discomfort with it and has been talking to the doctors about it. So we know he's had his knee issues this year, and he's certainly having a bit of an issue with the right at the moment.
Yeah, and I can give you the tip right now. If you've got any movement in a knee and it's a bit greasy to the ground, you just have that little bit of movement with the bone on bone or bone against the meniscus, and it can cause all sorts of one trouble, 2 soreness. So you hope it's only soreness and not trouble.
It's definitely one to keep an eye on this afternoon. Like you mentioned, he's battled a lot of these knee injuries this season, Brian Myers. As the kick out comes to right half forward for the Bombers from the restart. It'll be an entry inside 50. Players will converge towards the ball. Caddy's there, stuck out 2 hands, couldn't take the chest mark. It's a hand pass across to Kako, can't pick it up cleanly. He goes for a second effort. He has to, he nearly fires off a hand pass to Kondogiannis. Doesn't, in the end goes longer towards a hot spot. No mark can be taken by the Bombers. Geelong players surround the footy. Jack Henry's there. He tries to soccer it away. Misses his boot. Always puts him off balance. Atkins takes it. His kick is hurried. Then Kondogiannis will mark for Essendon. And he might as well have a shot if he can. We'd have to kick from about 52 metres out here.
Yeah, I don't think he's got... I'm not sure about his ability to kick 55 metres with a wet ball and a greasy grounder. But load up the numbers in front. It'll fall short.
Really gone inside 50 in this second term. And Kondogiannis just gives it everything he's got from 55 metres out. It falls in the pocket, in the right forward pocket. Dave Wicks was there, couldn't gather it cleanly. O'Connor's there to take it. Hand pass it to Dempsey. Hand pass to Close. He hats it out of 50 for Geelong. It'll be coming straight back his way via Johnson, who puts it into the centre of the attacking 50 for Essendon. And then Guthrie gets wrapped up, and we will have a ball up and a stoppage inside forward 50 for the Bombers. About 35 metres out from goal. Geelong ahead by 45.
Well, tossed up, right, might have been taken without it. He wasn't. Perkins tried to shrug the tackle. Umpire called play on. I don't know how anyone missed the holding the ball there, but the umpire almost in the middle called that one. The two closest umpires missed it. It's up to the wing now. O'Connor taking in a strong tackle and Payne holding the ball.
No, it's a good tackle. It stopped what was going to be a dead set shot on goal. Geelong had 4v2 in front of the ball, so it was all over. Great tackle.
Roberts on the wing will drive the Bombers back inside attacking 50. Caddy tried athletically over the top, couldn't get to the footy. Stewart has it now out to Smith, who takes the mark right half back. Myers, of course, about to come on here, which is good. He's playing with that partially torn ACL, which is why he spent some time back in the VFL this year. O'Connor receives the hand pass from behind, then kicks long up beyond the wing. Neal tries to tap it to the advantage of O'Connor, who keeps it in nicely. Couple forward of the ball here, the Cats. Manor, that was straight out of the Gaelic playbook. Off to Close, who spun around and gives it to Ollie Dempsey, who takes the mark 40 out directly in front. How good was that from Manor?
Well, fantastic play by Manor, but Dempsey just gets in the right spots. He can kick them from the 10-yard square. He saves them at the back end square. He's marked this ball directly in front because he's in the right position, and his player on him was 10 yards behind him to defend the goal square.
So for 4 opening half goals, we're only 15 minutes into the second term. Ollie Dempsey comes in. He just stabbed at that one a little, but it sneaks in the left-hand goalpost. He does have 4, and the Cats have 8. And Essendon haven't scored in this second term so far. 4 behinds the Bombers. And now Geelong out to a 51-point margin, 8-7-55. As I mentioned, 15 minutes gone this second term as the rain continues to fall here at Cardinia Park. It is a gloomy, gloomy evening for the Bombers. Fair play to the cheer squad and those others who've made their way down from Melbourne, the Essendon fans. This looks like a grim evening for them ahead.
They'll be home, boy. We're better lock the gates, keep them in, because they'll be home. This could be the biggest. I'm hoping not, but I'm just not seeing a lot of great effort. I don't know, is Clark going to go near the ball? It's not his fault, but I'd like to see the thing that he plays up the ground a bit.
So it's an equal career best for Ollie Dempsey with 4. He's got 2.5 quarters to improve upon that. Bailey Smith puts Geelong back inside forward 50. No mark can be taken by Polkinghorne, who had front position. Ball moves out to the right forward pocket. Manor goes sliding in after it. And so does Johnson alongside him. Would be a ball up just next to the right behind post. Geelong kicking towards the Barwon River end in this second term. They're up by 51 points. Essendon hasn't scored a goal yet. We're 16 minutes into the second term. Shannon Neal gets a little tap out. It'll be taken by Reid, who hand passes it towards Roberts. He slips over the boundary line. And it'll be another ball up, another throw-in rather, next to the right behind post. Putting themselves under pressure, the Bombers here, locked inside their defensive 50. Shannon Neal in a battle with Reid to get the tap out. The ball comes down very close to the boundary line. Kondogiannis happy to just carry that one over. And he takes the tackle as well, so it's seen as a rushed behind. And it's Geelong's lead out to 52 points. 8-8-56, Essendon 4 behinds. We've only played 17 minutes in the second term. That margin is 52 points.
Out the back, Caddy couldn't quite gather, and then it comes off his boot out for a lasso free kick. Unlucky for the big man.
Oh, well, if it can go wrong, it's going wrong. There's no question. And he's not getting near the ball either, Caddy. First don't think he's had too many possessions.
O'Connor kicks inside attacking 50 through the hands of Neil. Polkinghorne out the back will see it for another ball in. This one to take place 15 metres around from the right behind post. Forward pocket here for the Cats. 56-4. It's going to be a long evening for Essendon fans. We'll keep you across the Sydney score this afternoon as well, playing the power. From the stoppage, Manor receives the footy. Oh, just kicks to the top of the square and standing in front. Polkinghorne was 2 metres in front of his opponent then, and he'll go back and kick almost from the top of the goal square.
Yeah. Getting back to Caddy, hasn't touched it. Durham hasn't touched it. Reid. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players haven't touched it this quarter for Essendon.
They also seem to be playing Durham really deep forward.
No, I don't get it.
No, I don't either. So Polkinghorne comes in from the top of the square, nurses this one through, and it's now 9 on the board for the Cats. 9-8-62 plays 4 behinds, and maybe the question is becoming whether the Bombers are going to score a goal in this opening half.
No, well, not when they play at the moment. I don't want to sound, if there's any Essendon supporters listening to us, I don't want to sound as if it's the end of the world, but right now there's clearly lack of endeavour. There's certainly lack of thought about the way they play football. It is still greasy, and that means that you've got to get the ball into your forward line and hold it in there. It goes in a couple of times. Been in this time inside 50s, still 10-19, so it's gone in there 10 times, but it hasn't looked like being scored upon because Geelong are getting their numbers back. Essendon hold their numbers out. For what reason, I really don't know, and I can't understand why some of these players are out of position as well. It just seems to be very weird.
Back in the middle, Atkins hand passes it to Bailey Smith. He hits up Warple, who marks and moves it on quickly. Hand pass to O'Connor, stabs the kick inside forward 50. Martin's on the lead.
Well, that's training.
Right forward pocket.
That's what you do at training. You practice this without an opposition.
I was about to say, when you say to the defenders go at 70%?
Yeah, well, sometimes you practice without opposition.
Yep.
And there's no question Essendon didn't get within 1 metre of that ball from the centre bounce through to 4 or 5 positions and an eventual shot on goal by Jack Martin.
So Jack Martin hasn't scored a goal this afternoon. Can he get his name on the scoreboard now? The kick is good. He steers another one through for Geelong. Jack Martin has goal number 10 for the Cats this afternoon. 10-8-68. Essendon 4 behinds, and all those 4 behinds were scored in the first quarter. We've just ticked into extra time in the second term, and it's Geelong's lead out to 64 points. Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Your expert, Mick Malthouse.
I'm just wondering, this is just, again, I'm just probably thinking aloud here, is when a coach declares, no, I'm not in the running, I'm not going to coach, I'm just wondering whether the any sort of thought, I'm going to impress this coach, just goes out the window. Well, he's not going to be here anyway. Look, it's a psychological thing. I understand that. It's hard to put that into your mind to say, well, this is going to happen. But if your coach is not coaching next year and you're only 2 games away from finishing and you're getting smashed, well, the inevitability is you're going to keep getting smashed.
And they're getting smashed again in clearance. Bailey Smith storms away, goes inside 50, punched away from Ollie Henry on that occasion. Good spoil. And the ball will be tossed inside attacking 50 again. It has lived in their forward half, the Cats, in this second term.
I guess you easily see the opposite of that, Mick, in terms of Josh Fraser at Carlton. They're winning. He might go for the top job.
Well, he hasn't declared his
not yet. He might not. Sorry, he might not.
Yeah, look. Yeah, and there's a distinct difference. One is Carlton can play football. They've got a good side. Essendon haven't.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just looking at a lot of players that aren't up to scratch.
Yeah.
They're simply not AFL calibre players, particularly when you play. And the judgment is that is when you play a good football side like Geelong, and you can see how poor they are in their execution, their skills, their setups. When an opportunity arises, what do you do with it? Because what you can't do is teach people smart football. If you're not a smart footballer, you're not a smart footballer. So therefore you limit what you do. So what do? If it's mark it, get it and kick it, well, that's what you tell the player to do. Don't try to reinvent the wheel, because it's quite frankly at Essendon it's not happening.
Sharp goes long. to Perkins. Punched away from him and out for a boundary throw in right in front of the interchange benches where we can see the sparkle of the raindrops on the top of those Perspex interchange benches. It's coming down pretty heavily. Toss back into play. Merritt was chasing the footy backwards. It came off his boot. He lost about 20 metres. He might receive it out the back here, though. He becomes a tackler almost. No possession here, and the ball's moved about 30 metres in Geelong's direction. Just pushing it forward at every opportunity and applying pressure, and Ollie Henry sees it out of bounds for a throw-in 60 from the Cats' goal. 64 points the margin. 22 played, second term. ABC footy. Ball to be tossed back into play. Working his way to the front was De Koning, and he was held on his way to the front as well. So he'll win the free kick in the ruck. De Koning can pump the footy back inside, attacking 50. That's what he does. He's looking for Polkinghorne, who's up. It's punched away from him. Front and centre, Myers onto it. Hand pass to Warple from 55. Lowered the eyes nicely and finds Close, who takes the mark. 40 from goal, slight angle to the right.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a lot of Essendon players with their head bowed. Totally out of position. This is the frightening thing about the end of the year without a coach, sitting on the bottom of the ladder, no goals, and the opposition going to have their shot to probably put down through the 11th with still 5 minutes left, 5 of actual minutes to play. So it's gloom at the moment for the Bombers.
Close to put them 70 up. This one away to left for one behind. You can hear the groan from the crowd who were just baying for blood this afternoon. 10-9-69 plays 4 behind. Margin 65-24 played second term. You with Lauren Board.
It is retro around. Do you think maybe some of the Essendon fans are just putting on the 1993 grand final, Mick, and thinking of happier times maybe?
Well, I'll tell you what, they need to watch it over and over.
The kick comes out from the right, the left back pocket to the pack forming at half forward. And it's a free kick for the Bombers, and even they're a little unsure of who's to take it, but it will be Peter Wright.
Look, I'm not going to tell how people how to coach, but get your best players on the ball. At the moment, they're not on the ball. They're forward of the ball.
Where the ball's not going as Wright kicks it down towards Visentini. You'll get the free kick coming his way. Oh, no, it's going the other way. Is it going to...
No, that's not a good free kick. He just flew for the ball.
It's going for it. Yeah, it's going to O'Sullivan against Visentini. So he takes it for Geelong, moves it across to Stewart, hand pass to Guthrie. It'll be another entry inside 50 coming up for Geelong. Langford's there at the back, not paid the mark. Close, doesn't worry about that. He wants to take it in the forward pocket and have a shot at goal. It slides all the way across the face. And this will result in a stoppage inside forward 50, thrown in around from the left behind pace. Post, it is Geelong ahead by 65 points. Kicked 6 goals in this second term to go with the 4 they kicked in the first.
Yeah, Langford took the mark, didn't get paid, stopped, argued with the umpire. In the meantime, Geelong with their shot on goal.
De Koning tried to manoeuvre his man underneath it. Wiltshire ran through the stoppage. He was dispossessed and held in and under a few sets of hands, including Manor, who gives it back to the umpire. Tossed up quickly. Quick kick out of there, only as far as Ollie Dempsey, who puts it at the top of the square. 1-on-1. Langford got the spoil in. Then a good tackle in the end by Sharp. Then the hand pass forward to Vicentini. That's not ideal in these conditions. Teamus in there now, and a chance for Sharp, who went and won his own footy again. Long kick. Caddy forced to spoil from side on. Durham picked up the ball and then spilt it. Kako heard a voice over the back. It was Day Weeks. He's actually going to be penalised here for a throw out the back.
Well, you know what, that's been happening all year. And it is a throw. I'll categorically tell you it is a throw when you throw it over your head. It's been happening, the last 3 years?
Yeah. You see that
every day of the week you're seeing this.
30 times a week,
yeah. Now, you wonder why Geelong clear it again? Because they've got the loose player, they go lateral, and now they straighten it up for the forward line. Good luck.
Clark kicks inside 50. Good intercept mark taken on that occasion by McGrath. He's moved behind the foot. He was doing a tagging job on Tom Stewart.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Now to Durham, who takes the mark. Right half back here for the Bombers. Durham, who's almost playing as like a hit-up forward.
Well, again, just get your best players on the ball, because
they go back to McGrath. He takes it at true centre-half back. McGrath out to Langford at left half-back. So manoeuvring the Cats' defence, but it's not doing much, just racking up a few kilometres.
No, this is what Geelong love. Geelong love you to overuse the ball on a very narrow ground.
Just switched it across the broadcast side to Roberts, who then kicks inboard towards Andy McGrath, back edge of the centre square. He'll have to go long with this kick. He's looking for Day Wicks, needs to set himself against O'Connor. Punches it down. Johnson takes it, kicks it to Caddy. 50 metres out from goal. He spins around. He can see Wright sitting at the top of the goal square. And Peter Wright marks 15 metres out. He wants to play on. He'll hand pass it away. And here is the first goal coming the way off the Bombers. It's come at the 27-minute mark of the second term, and it's through their youngster in Jacob Farrow, who got the hand pass from Peter Wright as he was running into goal.
Well, it was Caddy that set it up. Caddy's one-touch play. And I'll go back a bit further too and say Durham had the football, McGrath had the football. Players that you want, with this side, it's important that those players feature around the ball. It's very difficult to feature around the ball if you are hog-tied to a forward line and trying to tag Stewart. It doesn't make sense when you're 9 goals down. It doesn't make sense when you're 2 goals down. Just have 6 forwards. They haven't. They've had 5 forwards. Geelong have been able to counter it and just keep moving that ball forward all the time.
That's coming back the way of the Cats, though. It was a lovely tap down towards Warple. He was pushed as he kicked and affected the kick, and ball comes inboard to Vicentini, who has it just behind the centre circles. Looks to go out wide. That's okay as well. That Al Ashko is going to kick inside attacking 50. Load the ice nicely. Hits up centre field. He wants to go quickly. No, he's going to hold things up. He's the best in the dry. He's probably got the distance. Not sure about this in the wet from 53.
Yeah, that's exactly where he's going to have to kick it. Probably 53 metres.
Eyes darting around Will Setterfield as he is assessing his options. He runs, kicks from 52, lays into it pretty well. It's all the way to the line. Oh, marked on the line as well. No, he's given away the free kick. Caddy, and he can't believe it as well. He's marched back to the 9. O'Sullivan receives the free kick on the goal line for in the back. And he can repel as the Cats go towards half-back.
That's where they kick it, but it's Essendon that'll emerge with the footy via Farrow. The goal kicker for the Bombers kicks towards Durham. Couple of hands to it, just couldn't hold on to it. Smith will take it, hand pass to Warple. Geelong trying to get it out of attacking 50. Archie Roberts holds things up and will win the free kick for the Bombers.
Well, they've shown a bit of heart, a little bit of grunt. Good tackle, really good tackle. I think there was certainly a push in the goal square. I've seen worse, but...
Bit of grunt from Archie Roberts.
Yep.
And he earns himself a shot at goal late in the second term.
Well, this will take a 50-plus metre kick as well. Mind you, the last one probably fell a metre short.
Archie Roberts swings out 55 metres out from goal. It's going on the siren. It's through. Essendon with 2 goals late in the second quarter. Things were looking dire for a long time. Started to wonder if they'd even score a goal in this first half. But the Bombers have 2, and they came in the last couple of minutes of that quarter. Still at halftime, though, it is Geelong ahead by 53 points. They got out by a game high of 65 before Bombers cut it back to 53 points at halftime. It is Geelong 10-9-69, Essendon 2-4-16. So a 53-point lead the way of Geelong at the halftime break. Rain's been coming down, and it's probably gotten a little heavier in the second quarter, but it has been raining throughout the entirety of this opening half. 0437774774. We'll get to your text in just a moment. The goal kickers, Essendon has Jacob Farrow, who kicked the first goal for the Bombers at the 28-minute mark of the second term, and then Archie Roberts coming through with the second goal right on the siren there for the Bombers. Well, for Geelong, it's a good day if your name's Ollie. Ollie Dempsey has 4 goals, an equal career high, and Ollie Henry has 3 in this first half for Geelong. Jay Polkinghorne, Jack Martin and Shannon Neal, each with singles for the Cats, as they hold a pretty convincing 53-point lead at halftime. There might have been a little bit of excitement there for the Bombers, at least coming in to the second half. But, Mick, it's probably one-way traffic in that second term. They showed a bit of grunt and a bit of intent in that last 3 or 4 minutes.
Absolutely. Yep, you're right, Lauren. They showed some desire, and interestingly enough, the players that got them involved, the players that we thought, why are they so hell-bent on having those in their forward line when they're not getting the ball in the forward line? And they're the sort of players that will get the ball in the forward line. So I guess it's a lesson learned. I'm loath to ever criticise coaches. They know more about their team than certainly what I do. But if there was a little hint, I would say get your ball, get the players that are hard. A wet day like this, you need your hard players around the footy. Wet days like this, you need when the ball's in your hand, just get it into your forward line as quick as you can and hold it in there. Now, you only hold it in there generally against Geelong if you've got 6 forwards. I've come down here enough to know I've seen Gold Coast, I've seen GWS, one or two other sides who have beaten Geelong down here. What they do, they hold their forwards, they make them have to earn their spots. Now, the simple fact is that quarter, it was 88 possessions to 60. I got 59, so let's say 60. That's a hell of a difference.
Yeah.
When a side, it's okay if the opposition and they're not good can get it 88 times, so you've got a chance of. But when Geelong have it 88 times and they're a good football side to you only 60, and you're not a good football side, well, you pay the big penalty of 6 goals to 2 eventually. The other stat here, which is an interesting one, and I've always believed it's a reasonable one to think about. Actually, it looks like it's changed a bit here, but is metres gained.
Yep.
Again, wet weather football, you want to see that in your plus, not behind. And at the moment, I've got down the Cats have gone about 3,000 metres to 2,200 metres. And that's 800 metres. That means that you've got to come against the Cats and you come back 800 metres to get back. It's only the ground's only 170 metres, 165 metres long, but it shows you've got to come up and down 4 times before you can even remotely think about scoring. There's some things that don't change from day dot, and one is less possession on a wet day. Get metres, get yards, or whatever you want to call it. My old side is, it's the old get yards, and what you're doing then is the opposition have to bring the ball back. Now, if you're already 500 or 600 metres in front and you've got a good football side, that's a long way for Essendon to get the ball back. And they just don't have that manpower to be good enough to move it. And when they do, unfortunately, their forwards have been sucked up in the play. Stewart, he must think that this is just a good training exercise. He just sits back. If it's not him, it's Henry. If it's not him, it's Guthrie. They just have a really good system. But it can only be dislodged if you are prepared to make them honest. And you might be as good as them, but if you've got 1v1 there, they don't have the extra play to come across the top. Centre square, you can't do much about that outside of getting your best and your hardest players in there. And your back line, it might be undermanned, but the best thing you can do there also is to make it hard for the good footballs going there. So in other words, it becomes a haphazard footy. Geelong are playing it perfectly. Essendon are playing it like a bottom side. It was good to see them kick 2 goals. They got that on the back of some really players that we're so used to seeing with the Durham and McGrath, who are hard players, and they'll put their heart and soul in it, and that's what they've got to do.
And obviously there's a discrepancy between these two sides when you look at ladder positions and skill, but the way Geelong is making the most of it as well, those little chip kicks inside forward 50, they're spotting it.
Finding targets.
A little 15-metre kick, they find their target in a better position, and whether it's the Essendon defenders that are just a little bit confused in that back line or not manning up like you've mentioned there. There was that beautiful goal from Ollie Dempsey that you called Maisie, where I think Manor got involved, Close got involved, and they line it up perfectly for Dempsey. And they're getting shots from closer to goal than where, Caddy was kind of kicking from late in that second term for us.
Yeah, and so they're finding these little targets, and it's a doubt. And what you end up finding is your back line automatically takes the back shoulder and wants to fall back and save the game because he thinks the ball's coming in so quick, so they drop him behind. They drop back for the bigger kick. Geelong are smart. They use the ball 15 to 30 metres, find those targets between 60 and 40, and then the 60-metre kick becomes inside. They find the 15-metre target, which takes them into a kicking zone. So the natural reaction, the natural fallback is to keep falling back, but reality is that you've got to trust the pressure on the ball kicker and then come up and play hard shoulder. And if he outmarks you, and we've seen some good marks, really good one-on-one marks, if they beat you on a one-on-one, they beat you. But the worst thing you want is to have players mark the ball inside your back 50 on their chest and you're nowhere near them, because that simply means that you've really, I guess in many respects, you've become either lazy or you just don't trust your teammates forward to the ball.
So Geelong leading by 53 points at half-time. Worth looking at their percentage. So the Cats are sitting on 117.2%. They're on 48 points. Adelaide, one spot above them in sixth position, is on 117.6%. So they play tonight against Richmond. So obviously Adelaide hot favourites coming into that. And Melbourne defeating Freo by 4 points a little earlier on today at the MCG. Good result for the D's there, but it puts Melbourne into fifth position and 8 points ahead of Geelong at the moment. So plenty of ladder ramifications. Of course, everyone wants to finish in the top six, and Geelong in a fight for that today. But half-time, Geelong ahead by 53 points. I will get to your text just after the ABC News. Plenty of questions coming in from Essendon supporters, I think, for you, Mick. They just want to sort out their club at half-time. We'll try and solve all their problems. Easily done, isn't it?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess everyone would love an easy reason to be able to put the right people on, get the right players. It's not good today. Yes, they've kicked the last 2 goals, but just simple fact of 19 shots by Geelong with this drizzly sort of rain. It's well, you know, and one of the things too, Lauren, if I'm going to just say this stat: contested football is about attitude.
Yep.
And Geelong, 10 goals in front, they've got a greater number of contested football. Yep. That tells you a lot. They've got to go back at half-time and get their best players, hardest players around the ball, because they'll give you the contested footy.
It is Geelong ahead by 53 points at half-time here at Kardinia Park. More from Mick Malthouse in just a moment, but first we'll get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News. Hello, I'm Noni Edwards. Both sides of federal politics have welcomed the confirmation of the next United States ambassador to Australia. Political reporter Stephanie Boris has more.
Earlier this year, President Donald Trump announced David Bratt as his pick for the role. That's now been formalised by the US Senate. The incoming ambassador has previously said his priorities will be critical minerals, defence cooperation and partnership in the Indo-Pacific. In a statement, Foreign Minister Penny Wong says she welcomes the confirmation and looks forward to working with him. The opposition has labelled him an eloquent contributor to policy debates in the US. The last US ambassador in Canberra was Caroline Kennedy, who finished her posting in late 2024. No official date has been set for David Bratt's arrival, but it could be within weeks.
The New South Wales government has confirmed the state's first cases of H5 avian influenza in Australian native birds. The government says one bird was found dead near Narooma on the south coast and the other near Wentworth in western New South Wales. Both birds were greater crested terns. The 2 cases were reported to the Emergency Animal Disease Hotline by members of the public. The government says there have now been 4 confirmed cases of the H5 bird flu in New South Wales and 215 in Australia. A New South Wales mining project has secured a conditional loan of more than $500 million from the US government. Digby Worthmuller reports.
Australian-listed Sunrise Energy Metals plans to use the financing alongside private capital to expand its scandium mining operations in the state. The US says there's currently no primary source of supply globally for the rare earth metal, with foreign competitors dominating production and processing. Under the proposed financing, the US would receive a right of first offer on Sunrise's output. The offshore investment's been welcomed by the Resources Minister, Madeleine King, who says it's exactly what Australia wants to see following the critical minerals deal struck with the US last October.
A caution. The following story contains details listeners may find distressing. A 15-year-old alleged torturer will be assessed for an electronic monitoring device in an attempt to apply for bail after a 17-year-old with an intellectual disability was allegedly found bashed, zip-tied and wrapped in plastic in North Queensland. James Tugwell has more.
Police arrested 8 people yesterday after the teenager was found by joggers 3 weeks ago in bushland near Palaranda, Townsville. 3 others have already appeared in court. Townsville Magistrate Court this morning heard the victim was allegedly assaulted at a social gathering and left crawling for help. Magistrate Stephen Mosh said court proceedings could take more than 12 months, and then he wanted some reassurance the 15-year-old would comply with bail conditions if granted. He adjourned the case until Thursday for Youth Justice to carry out an assessment. 6 co-accused had their cases adjourned until Monday.
If you or someone you know is in an abusive situation, contact Full Stop Australia, 1800 Full Stop. That's 1800 385 578. Turning overseas, and Thailand's public health minister says mental health teams have been deployed to try to comfort families after a deadly multiple shooting at a school outside the capital, Bangkok. Police say a 14-year-old boy killed 5 people at the school and then himself after fatally shooting 2 of his grandparents. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirugun says 9 of the 30 people injured in the shooting are in a critical condition in hospital. Video released by Ukraine's state emergency service shows firefighters battling blazes engulfing buildings following the latest Russian aerial strikes in the region surrounding Kiev. And an official says has killed 3 people, including a child, and injured 3 others. Larry Buttrose reports.
Ukraine's state emergency service says the number of victims is currently being clarified. Witnesses reported hearing powerful explosions early today to the east of the capital. The strikes come just days after aerial attacks across Ukraine killed 21 people. Kyiv's mayor Vitaly Klitschko says emergency crews are fighting fires at a building and fuel tank in the capital. The strikes come as Ukraine still grapples with a shortage of interceptors to counter attacks by ballistic missiles that travel at several times the speed of sound. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is continuing to appeal for international help to counter the missile threat.
And sport, Italian MotoGP rider Marco Bezzecchi has recorded the fastest ever lap time at Britain's Silverstone track, clocking in at 1 minute 56.28 seconds in practice ahead of the British Grand Prix. Despite the pace, Bezzecchi says he was hampered throughout practice by ongoing pain in his collarbone and knee. You're up to date with ABC News.
Okay, let's do it. The ABC Listen app now has a space just for kids and families. Ooh. The only place for new episodes of Bluey Listen Along. Radio, podcasts and routines. I love it. Everything families need anytime on the ABC Listen app.
Get ready for a year of Test cricket like you've never heard before.
Stark tries again. He runs in straight through it.
Grandstand cricket.
12 months, 20 Test matches, New Zealand at home over summer, the 3 most iconic overseas tours, the 150th anniversary Test under lights at the MCG.
Haven't driven for 4. Beautiful stroke.
And it all begins on Thursday with Australia versus Bangladesh.
Hits it clean over the long-off boundary for 6.
Listen to every ball live from the top end on ABC Listen. Just look for the cricket button.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
Setterfield rather for the Bombers. He can't take it for them. Close goes in after it. Hand passes it to Blitzarves. Inside forward 50 Geelong is. Dempsey comes in there. Will snap it from no space at all. And he doesn't need any space, Ollie Dempsey.
Clark, and they're on again here, the Cats. Out wide O'Connor. He's got no one in front of him. 50 metres away from the nearest player. Takes 2 bounces in the wet. Thinking about a third. He does. What about a fourth? No. Kicks inside 50. To the top of the square. Mark taken by Ollie Henry. Goes back to the top of his mark. Kicks around the corner and has 3. Couple forward of the ball here, the Cats. Manor, that was straight out of the Gaelic playbook. Off to Close, who spun around and gives it to Ollie Dempsey, who takes the mark 40 out directly in front. Dempsey comes in, he just stabbed at that one a little bit, it sneaks in the left-hand goalpost. He does have 4.
Hand pass to Warpool, Geelong, trying to get it out of attacking 50. Archie Roberts holds things up and will win the free kick for the Bombers. Archie Roberts swings out 55 metres out from goal. It's going on the siren. It's through. Essendon with 2 goals late in the second quarter.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
So there it was, just a couple of goals there for Essendon supporters to celebrate, and they both came very late in that second term. 10 consecutive goals for Geelong to start the match. 4 of those coming in the first quarter, 6 of those in the second term, and then the last 2 goals of that second quarter to Essendon, which brought back the margin to 53 points after it got out to 65 points at one point in the second term, as Geelong just make their way back out onto Cardinia Park as we get set and get ready for the second half here in Geelong. Lauren Borden and Andrew Mays calling the action. Tim Morgan's down, sitting in the front row for us, and in the rain. It's been raining steadily.
Brave.
They're always the best on grounds, aren't they, Maisie?
On nights like this, they sure are. Just in that other game as well, Sydney 14-6-90 lead Port Adelaide 6-7-43. So a pretty comfortable 47-point margin with about half of the third term left in that one as well. It's going to be, the top spots will be locked up, you'd think, with Fremantle and Sydney and even Hawthorn with that draw. Just puts them that 2 points ahead of the chasing pack. But we could have a situation where Brisbane, Melbourne, Geelong and Adelaide are all only separated by 4 points with 2 rounds to go. So percentage is going to be so important, and they're all around each other.
Yes.
So Geelong's live percentage is 120.2. Brisbane's is 117.8 with their big win, and Adelaide's is 117.6 with Richmond to come tonight. So, yeah, the percentage side of things is going to be vitally important for all of those sides, which is why I'm sure Chris Scott wouldn't have said take the foot off the pedal at half-time.
So just on Graham Myers as well, Tim Morgan mentioned that he came off the field and looked a little bit sore in his right knee. That's where he's had his injury throughout this season and has played with basically a partially torn ACL instead of going to get surgery. He spoke to Fox at half-time and just gave an insight onto the injury.
It's all right. I've had these a few times throughout the year. I've had probably 3 or 4 of these incidents that I'm pretty confident I'll be fine, but it's just frustrating that it keeps showing up and limits me a tiniest bit, but I think I'll be right for the second half.
So that's Graham Myers there, who just said that, a little niggle in his right knee that he's kind of experiencing a fair bit throughout the season. He's probably getting used to what to expect from his knee, Mick Malthouse, as he battles through and decided not to have surgery. He's already been a key playmaker here and setting up a couple of goals in the first half, as he does so well. 0437 774 774. A couple of texts coming through about the Bombers. Gazza the truckie asked Mick, with a new coach coming in from the Bombers, could you see them improving at all next year with the players that they've got? You've probably pointed towards this, Mick, that it's a long-term plan for Essendon.
Well, it's a long-term plan, all right, because where they're going to go, the current team is not good enough. It's a simple fact is they're on the bottom of the ladder for a good reason, and they've won 1 game for a good reason, and albeit the fact I think that was against Melbourne.
Yep.
From memory. So given Melbourne the way Melbourne have played all year, so they've got a sprinkling of good players. They've got a sprinkling of a couple of kids. Caddy's clearly the best player. Caddy's, and if you ever centre forward come key forward as your best player, good on you, because they're hard to get. But you've got to start then protecting him and having some other forwards up around. That's why, particularly with big 2-metre Peter, he should be doing more on that forward line, taking a bit of pressure off him. But he's not the long-term future. The future of the club really is around Caddy and any other young players. But they don't have a lot of them. I look through their side and you think, where's the growth going to come from? It's because for every bit of growth you see in the side, I'm looking at other teams around them that are as good, if not better. So I think it's going to be a long haul for us. And I hate saying that because they've been down for long enough. But
Tasmania's lurking.
Well, yeah.
So Geelong ahead by 53 points to start this second half. You're with Andrew Mays.
So the Cats resume hostilities and kick it forward straight away. Blitzarv spending a bit of time up forward. Lovely pick up there by McGrath, though, swooping him past. He just got the hand pass away. Big tackle and inboard and a turnover. So Geelong with a chance now after Blitzarv's good tackle to go forward inside, attacking 50 points.
And that's a classical case. Gets the football, doesn't know what to do with it and gets caught.
Points long and deep, and Vicentini was in the hole, couldn't complete the mark though. Neil came and crashed the pack, went out wide by hand to Bailey Smith, who kicks to the top of the square. Flyers are there, poking on. Excellent mark. Strong in between 2 Bombers, and he will line up from about 20 metres out, slight angle to the left. Good set of hands.
Oh, it's a brilliant mark. Brilliant. Well, we'll say it's a mark. I think he had enough of it, albeit the fact that his opponent had the same amount down the other end and wasn't paid. So, but when you attack the football like that and the square up is perfect, so those players come from the goal square. Smith squared it up 20 metres out. That's a dangerous spot because players don't know how to spoil it. And quite frankly, that was an excellent attack on the football.
So Polkinghorne kicked one in the second to open the third nicely. He's missed.
Laid back.
Lay to the right-hand side, 10-10-7. He plays 2-4-16. We've played a minute in the third term on ABC Sport.
Archie Roberts will bring in the footy for the Bombers. He'll kick towards the broadcast side of the ground, close to the boundary. Tom Stewart was setting himself. 3 Bombers came around the footy and punched it out for a throw-in. Just to the left of the Geelong bench. Might be able to check in with Tim Morgan in a moment on the conditions. It looks like the rain's slowed down a little bit.
T-shirt on.
We'll check down in a second with Tim if he's just decided to get rid of the raincoat and pull out the T-shirt on a cold night in Geelong. Smith from the ball in just hacks it away towards half forward. McGrath's there to pick it up for the Bombers. Spins around, throws it on his boot all the way to centre wing. Tom Stewart again sets himself. Couldn't take the mark. His teammate Mullins there to provide support. Hand pass to Bruin. Hand pass to Guthrie. Hand pass to Humphreys, and Geelong work it through the centre of Kardinia Park until the mark's taken by O'Sullivan. He wants to flare it back towards the AFL logo, towards Stewart. Right. Stands there and uses his body and wins it for the Bombers. Hand pass across to Merritt. They're moving it quickly. He goes inside forward 50. Caddy's there in a one-on-one. Wins the footy against O'Sullivan.
Oh,
and he's taken
it off because he thought it was touched.
He's called touched.
Well, that's a remarkable decision. It may well have, those things there, they can get touched like that, but you just...
Wright takes it, hand passes it to Durham. Will have a shot as he's swinging out to the right. That's a behind, but that looked like a mark to Caddy any day of the week, because we watch a...
Oh, it just can't... That is a mark every day of the week.
Unless that was touched off the boot and we missed it.
No, it wasn't called. You know here, this umpire down here calls touch.
Yep.
That's a remarkable decision. You know, Essendon have been robbed of a shot on goal there.
So the Cats are going to be under pressure again as Daywicks comes through. Outside attacking 50. Got the hand pass away. Well done by Artemis to get it out wide. Now Caddy snaps across the face. In fact, it's not going to score on the goal line.
Too rushed.
Stewart hugs the boundary line with his kick. It's okay. Taking it on the chest is Jack Henry.
Well, they put some pressure on now, the Bombers. They've made sure that every football now has got to be contested. Now,
And Caldwell is able to repel this time. Snaps inside attacking 50. Jack Henry's there. He's almost going to be caught. Should have been caught. He did get caught. It affected the kick. Wright did good work to bend down and pick it up. Hand pass to Sharp. He snaps off the fat side. Or kick the fat side of the footy. Goes up and down. And no mark taken. Blitzarv's back in defence. His hand pass is knocked straight back towards him. He just got his hand pass away to Stewart, to Humphreys. Boundary line is his friend, and he takes it over for a boundary throw-in. Downstairs, Tim.
Yeah, sorry, guys. I was a bit slow getting back to my set. I just thought I might pick up an ice cream on the way back out here. The conditions have improved that much. Certainly the rain has gone away. It is still, in all seriousness, a bit chilly. The lady next to me has got the blanket over the legs, and I wouldn't mind nicking it off her.
I think she always sits in the front row at every Geelong game. She's in the same position. They have their set spots here, Geelong fans.
She'll have a thermos for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Nice warm cup of tea.
A half-time cup of tea. That's what Mick does.
I have. I've got one right. You can tell it's a great game when people start talking about who sits in the front row and what else? Knitting.
Tossed in. Durham takes it. Is taken to the turf.
I've just got to be careful that my cup of tea doesn't spill all over this, what do you call it? Microphone.
You get your bit to throw out. Tossed up inside the forward pocket for Essendon. The positive spin for them is that they've kicked the last 2 goals. The kick from Geelong will be an intercept with Perkins taking it. Hurried kick, and Perkins is on the end of it to mark, and he'll kick from directly in front of goal, 55 metres out.
Well, Essendon have had the ball inside the front 50 for most of the quarter. It says 3-1, but that doesn't tell you how long it's been in there. It's been in there, living in there, and there's been a real contest. And the worst thing that could happen is not capitalise on this ball rushes up the other end and Geelong kick a goal, because Bombers have put up some resistance in this first 4.5 minutes of this quarter.
Here comes Archie Perkins for Essendon. The start of the third quarter. Good looking kick off his boot. And Archie Perkins puts it through for the Bombers. And would you believe it? Essendon has 3 in a row. Geelong kicked the first 10 goals of the match, and now Essendon has kicked 3 goals either side of half-time. The margin, though, is cut back to 47 points the way of the Cats. 10-10-70, Essendon 3-5-23. 6 minutes played in the third term.
Yeah, that ball was just banged out of a stoppage, straight up the middle of the ground. Humphreys is blaming himself, shouldn't, because he was in the right position. It was just a bad clearance kick, quite frankly, from the stoppage. Your best idea, even though you're 10 goals in front, is to go wide and make the opposition have to chase it from wide. You pay a penalty if it comes off centre of the ground. Fantastic. Well, they didn't, and you pay a penalty.
So the Bombers showing a bit of resistance here with the last 3 at Cardinia Park. Back in the middle, Vicentini won it down. Mullins there, he burst away from Merritt, who kept on chasing. Again affected the kick with a late lunge. Roberts left it for his teammate there, Redmond, who put Roberts on his backside and banged it as far as he could to left half forward. Again, the Cats under pressure. Hand pass towards Henry. He's got work to do. Should have been holding the ball. Just got it away. The boundary line was Guthrie's friend, and he's happy to give it straight back to the boundary umpire. Merritt was the tackler, and he's complaining to the umpire, and probably fair enough.
Yeah, good call, Andrew. It certainly was holding the ball. He got rid of it. He didn't get rid of the ball the right way.
Another ball inside Essendon's forward 50. Vicentini battling for it. Just soccers it away. Kako taps it down, but it'll be cleared by Dempsey, who gets it to half back for Geelong. It might bobble its way forward. Clark goes in after it for the Cats, shares it with Dempsey, gets it back. In defensive 50 for Geelong, gets rid of the footy to Humphreys, who just clears this one away all the way to a contest. It's punched by Reid down to half forward for Essendon. They'll move it forward again here. Here comes Perkins, roves it, takes it, snaps towards goal. It's a minor score. So the most recent goal kicker of the game for the Bombers puts through a behind for Essendon. The lead cut back to 46 points. Essendon with the only goal of the third term so far. 8 minutes played. It's Saturday night footy on ABC Sport.
And the bubble has just burst because a kick-off, Geelong have found the ball. They're on the wing, and Essendon haven't looked like touching it.
Huge kick from Stewart to Myers. Good tackle, though, from the Bombers. Hand pass comes to Setterfield at centre-half back. Tries to get rid of it, couldn't do so. No Pryor. We'll have a ball up centre-half forward here for the Cats.
Well, there's a classical case of an Essendon player hitting it head, face on, getting a ball and hand pass to a player under pressure instead of kicking the football. That's been the trouble for a lot of the night.
So the kick out of congestion is high. Merritt tries to work his way to the front. Atkins almost took a one-hander. He's being held anyway. He'll receive the free kick. Right half forward here for the Cats. He's 70 from goal. So Essendon win the last 3 of the game. Cats kick the first 10. Kick to the top of the square. Over the top with the spoil was Langford. Oh, the runners. One of them is Wiltshire for the Cats. Off to Humphreys, who kicks off his left into the forward pocket. Lovely pick up by Redmond. Gave it straight to Ollie Henry, though, who says, "Thank you very much." Puts it on his boot and kicks it straight back over Redmond's head for a goal. So the Cats answer 3 in a row for the Bombers. And Ollie Henry joins Ollie Dempsey. Lovely night to be an Ollie. They've got 8 between them, 4 each. 76 plays 24. Margin back to 52 points in favour of the Cats. 9 minutes played, third term.
Yeah, got to look at that and think, well, it was a great goal. It was a touch goal. There's no question. The ball comes in. If you're in today's football, you've got to be a one-touch player. Ollie Henry was just picked as soon as the ball came in. He got it, put it on his boot, left foot, put it through. But it was the means of getting the ball clear of the back line. The Essendon player had opportunity to kick the ball probably well with it past the 50-metre line, and then Geelong have to bring the ball back. It was just a haphazard non-kick, really, just a nothing kick for an experienced player.
And like you said, Mick, the bubbles burst a little bit for the Bombers now. 52 points is Geelong's lead as Caldwell takes it for Essendon and puts the pass out wide. It's taken by Pryor. He hand passes it away to Farrow, who takes it and will be able to put Essendon inside forward 50 towards right, taps it away. Clark will pick it up, hand pass to Atkins, and it'll be the Cats that move it forward again. Kicking down the Hickey win. It'll be in front position. Polkinghorne can't take the mark. He will get the free kick against Langford.
No, I think they paid the mark, and it was a good mark. That That was Langford, no doubt about Langford. He was right on him, so that's not a mistake by him. It was just a solid mark by a young fella playing his fourth
game. So Polkinghorne, another gem for Geelong out of South Australia, out near Sejuna, puts the kick inside forward 50, and it's Pryor that takes it and is taken to the turf by Humphreys. We'll have a ball up at the top of attacking 50 for the Cats. They're ahead by 52 points in this third quarter.
Well, I think Pryor was very lucky then. He had the ball come to him, he took one step, and that's enough in today's football. Try to break the tackle, so I think Geelong are a bit stiff.
Pies found a free kick at the stoppage. It's going the way of Merritt. He's inside defensive 50, close to the boundary line. Left half back. Pokes the pass over the top. It's a good one too to Vicentini. He'd had a couple of metres on his opponent. Turning to the side this evening.
He just should kick the football, son. You're not
He's placed that pretty well for Farrow. He takes the mark. He's going to look inboard. Nothing doing for the moment.
There's nothing inboard, Andrew, because the ground is so narrow. Geelong just block it up so well.
So he's forced to go long down the line. Wright makes a contest. Out to Setterfield by hand, who kicks inside attacking 50. Over the back, Johnson almost got to it. Good spoil in front by Guthrie towards the boundary line, and the Cats happy to see it over. But again, another stoppage inside attacking 50 here for the Bombers. Positive signs in this third term so far.
Marty in Boulder has texted in 0437 774 774. He's listening to the radio in Kalgoorlie. You nailed it, Mick. Too many teams, not enough talent. This game is like a weak chicken noodle soup. You just throw it out. So it's the night for chicken noodle soup. The ball is, I like that analogy. The ball's tossed in. It'll be another stoppage inside forward 50 for Essendon.
What, 4:15 in Kel? I don't know what they're doing. Good competition up there.
Humphreys kicks it out. It'll be a turnover. Essendon to take it at left half forward. Vicentini pops it inside forward 50 towards a leading Caddy on the lead, and he takes the mark.
Well, I'm going to take it back what I said about Ruckman with their kicking. That's two kicks were so well directed. Caddy's lead. Again, he made him come to the football. That's a fantastic kick by Big Ruckman.
There you go, Vicentini's first game for this year for Essendon, just his third of all time, as he Caddy puts this shot towards goal, 50 metres out. And he's the star of this Essendon lineup. There might not be many bright sparks for the Bombers across the next few years as they slowly rebuild, but Caddy is one of them. He's signed on and he's kicked a beauty. Essendon with their fourth, 4-6-30. Geelong 11-10-76. So Essendon with 4 of the last 5 goals of the match in a positive spin for them. The Cats ahead by 46 points, 13 minutes played in the third term.
Well, 8-4 inside 50s tells you a little bit about it. We've been going, these are official minutes, so we don't worry about the time-ons, but they've been going 9 minutes, and it's 8-4 inside the front 50. There's a change-up in the middle. There's no question about that. The Bombers are a lot harder and making it more awkward for Geelong to clear that football.
They're trying to come away with it again through Setterfield. He's tackled immediately, going nowhere. Another stoppage to take place in the middle.
Just watching their forward line. Essendon have actually held for the first time this match 6 forwards forward of the ball.
Wright goes down, but only as far as blitz halves. His opposing ruckman, who kicks inside attacking 50. It almost got out the back to Martin, although well done by Redmond. Gathered the bouncing footing and was able to get it across to Pryor. He's held up the footy for a moment, then a long kick out. Oh, what a mark over the top.
Great mark.
Oh, Clark didn't know he could get that. Oh, Atkins was it? I didn't know he could get that high. He's looking for the return ball as well as he gave it to Smith, and then another leap. Flyers going everywhere at the moment. Good tackle by Ollie Henry ensures things are going nowhere for the Essendon defence, and we'll have a stoppage 40 out directly in front as Pryor. A little hurt as he gets to his feet and goes back onto Ollie Henry, who's got 4 this afternoon.
46 points, the Cats lead. It's tossed up. Redmond takes it. He's on to by Nana. Umpire's gone.
I reckon he's collided with someone there.
Jack Martin.
Oh, it was it? I don't know whose fault it was.
So the umpire has gone down in that stoppage as the ball's tossed up. Roberts goes in after it, puts his head over the footy, and he's dived on top of by a few Geelong players. We can head down to Tim Morgan on the boundary.
Yeah, just a concern here for Mark Blitzarves. He brought himself straight from the field. He's with the doctors now. Seems to be dealing with a lower back issue at the moment.
Thanks, Tim. As the ball is cleared out of Geelong's attacking 50, it bobbles its way out of bounds for a lasso free kick. Tom Stewart to take it. As the umpire's getting checked out by the umpire physio. We'll come in and just check he's all right. Of course, we had that boundary umpire who broke his wrist earlier on in the season. So slippery underfoot after a lot of rain in the first half. Ball to be tossed in at half forward for Geelong. It's picked up by De Koning, who takes it, hand passes it away to Manor, close to the boundary line, kicks it into the pocket. Shannon Neal reaches out and rips it down from the grasp of Michael Pryor. Jackson Pryor, not Michael Pryor.
Yeah, Reid slipped. Reid slipped at the psychological moment, left his smaller teammate trying to do the big heavy duty against Shannon Neal, and just quite frankly just too tall. Again, nothing wrong with the Bombers' play there, just good, really solid play by the Cats. So they've picked up.
Here comes Shannon Neal. Eases this one towards goal and eases it into the right goalpost for a minor score. He scored a goal in the first quarter. Shannon Neal, the second of this match, just a behind for him, as Geelong's lead is pushed out to 47 points, 11-11-77. The Cats playing the Bombers 4-6-30. 17 minutes ticked over in the third term.
Short kick in on that occasion, taken by Redmond, who is a long kick himself.
Yeah, he needs to be. He needs to clear this back 50.
Not too many options short. He takes the only one that was available to him, and that's Reid. He runs outside of defensive 50, then goes to the wing. Caddy thought about a big leap, and then thought twice as it just got over his head. Guthrie's tackled, should be holding the ball again. Good pressure from the Bombers. Caddy competing at ground level as well as in the air. Goes one way, then the other, then slips under the tackle. Hand pass immediately under pressure there was Setterfield. Never really had it, and the umpire's going to pay him the free kick. So Setterfield has it on the wing. Bombers pressing a little here. They've had a good third term so far. 47 points of margin in favour of the Cats, but it was looking a lot worse than that in the second term. Out wide, Dave Wicks does some roving. Did nicely to get the hand pass away to Johnson. Slams it on his left boot. Oh, Caddy's run all the way inside, attacking 50 to Durham. Hand pass over the top. All they've got to do is kick this, and Farrow does on his left. He's second for the evening. And the Bombers kick another. That is 5 out of the last 6 goals, rather, for the Bombers. So 5-6-36, 11-11-77 the Cats, 18 played third term. Caddy impressive again. Good signs from Farrow getting forward for another goal. So a couple little positives to come out of this second half so far from the Bombers. And you'd have to say in the third term they've probably been the better team. And you might have said I was crazy for suggesting such a thing could happen when they were almost 70 down halfway through the second term.
Well, they've certainly been the better side, Andrew. There's no question they've been the better side. Even on the fact that they've gone, I remember at half-time I was speaking about metres, they've gone 900, Essendon gone 800. So even that's flipped over. It's a credit to them, really, because they look like a 20-goal hiding at one stage.
They're going again here. Visentini just hacks it inside forward 50, looking for Caddy, who at least brings it down to ground. It's Johnson that takes it, and he's tackled, and it'll be a stoppage inside forward 50 for Essendon.
Yeah, clearance rates 8-6, still Geelong's favour, and that's helping the Cats to stay... there's another one.
Artemis takes it, and Bailey Smith will hold on to him.
Yeah, that's an interesting decision there. The ball comes straight to him, he was tackled straight away, so no grounds to think that he had a lot of opportunity.
But he is penalised, and Bailey Smith wins the free, kicks it down to a large pack of players forming. Pryor gets a hand in there and punches it away. Mullen tries to gather it for Geelong. He can't quite pick it up cleanly, and in the end it's carried over the boundary line by Kondogiannis, and we'll have a ball up, throwing rather, right in front of the Essendon bench. An improved third term from them. They're leading in this third term. Well, they're winning the third quarter, rather, but Geelong are leading by 41 points in the third.
As we tick into time on, ball thrown back into play. Visentini and Atkins at ground level there. Setterfield was shoved out of the way by De Koning. Hand pass forward, overrun, and then ricochets off the boot of Manor. That'll be out of bounds, and a lasso free kick going the way of Pryor at right half back.
I don't know what Pryor's looking... He's looking to go backwards.
It's better. Eventually decides against it and then kicks it too wide. It's out of bounds on the full.
Yeah, so his first instinct was, I'm not looking forward. When he had players forward, he wanted to go inside the corridor. Geelong cover the... You just got to work it out. It's very rare you're going to get a free ball in the corridor with Geelong.
So it's Jack Henry's free kick. Goes short with this ball. Oh, good mark almost by Reid. Dropped it at the last moment. Umpire says play on. At ground level, Atkins is in there. Good tackle by Sharp. And he holds things up. Stoppage to take place. Almost on the AFL logo on the wing. 77 plays 36, 41 the margin. 21 played, third term.
Visentini with a little tap out looking for Sharp, goes past him. Martin charges in for Geelong. Ball spills out the back and Pryor will take it. Puts Essendon all the way to right half forward where it falls into the hands of Durham. He shrugs off the tackle from Jack Henry and will put the kick in the right forward pocket. Looking for Caddy, who's running onto it, chasing it, and Clark gets there first and he's able to pull it through and drag it through for a minor score for Essendon. It's rushed and it's Geelong's lead cut back by just one, down to 40 points, 21 minutes played in the third term. It's Saturday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Long kick around the boundary line and Close is there to see it over and out for a boundary throw-in. In between wing and half forward here for the Bombers. They've kicked 3 goals in this third term so far, 3 goals to 1. Toss back into play to Koning over the back towards Manor. Free kick going the way of... No, De Koning thought it was his, but it's going to go to Vicentini.
Oh, I can understand that free. I think De Koning had his arms around him. You know, I don't believe it was a free kick, but that's what they sort of judge everything on.
Here goes Vicentini out towards Caddy again. What about that delivery? That's 3 in a row from the big fella.
He's been impressive.
Caddy just pulls his kick at the last moment. Not a bad idea. It ricochets through to Stewart and then caught at the last moment. Got to be holding the ball. Bombers pressure again, elite inside attacking 50. And Al Ashkar is going to have a free kick from almost the top of the square. This will bring the margin back to 34 points incredibly.
So that was Bruin, was it? The court?
Yep.
Yeah, he just wandered through, thinking he can just... No real feel for who's around him. They 2 or 3 Essendon players around him.
In the second term, Brad Close had a chance to put the Cats 70 up. And now they are back within 34 points, the Bombers. A spirited fight back in this third term. 11-11, 77 Geelong. 6-7, 43. The Bombers, 23 played third term on ABC Sport. Let's head downstairs to Tim Morgan before Mick Malthouse.
Yeah, Mark Blitzarves looks right to return. He gave the thumbs up to the bench. He was getting a considerable amount of work on the rub-down bench, the lower back, and then got re-stretched and went for a run. But as I said, thumbs up to the bench. He's right to come back on.
Sort of play you can't afford to lose. If there's any doubts on him, you're going to win the game. There's finals in front. Blitzarves is such an important role player. He can play tag, he can ruck, he can go forward, go back. I know one thing for certain yet. He must be okay if he's going to go back on because he's the sort of player that you would dead set rest.
So back in the middle now, Bailey Smith chasing after it, takes it, hand passes it to Mullen. Hand pass to Atkins, who takes a bounce as he's streaming towards the centre of Kardinia Park. Hand passes it across to Mullen, kicks from half forward for Geelong. Right to a hot spot forming inside forward 50. Polkinghorne can't take the mark. He tried hard as he was falling down. He holds on to it and he's taken and held where he is by Langford, and it'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for Geelong.
Yeah, he had Langford cold. Langford's probably a couple of inches shorter than him, so it's, you know, they picked it out well.
So from the restart, Redmond takes it. It comes off the back of Langford's boot. Manners there to soccer it through. This will go to a score review. There were plenty of players around the footy. So we'll check if this was touched.
I reckon it's a goal.
I reckon if anyone can do it, Manor, his ability, he's sort of not... Yeah, he thinks he's kicked it.
So the Bombers are trying to hand pass it across...
Stupidly.
The goal line, yep.
Stupidly. They could have rushed that through.
And then it almost looked like it came off the back of Langford's boot and went towards Manor, who's just hacked at it. So Martin's around there, his own teammate, but at the moment it looks like it hasn't hit his boot.
Yeah.
So coming off Manor's
Review
right
complete.
foot.
Looking at this angle, we can see the ball makes contact with the right foot of the Geelong attacker before crossing the goal line. Decision on the scoreboard.
So it does clear Martin's left boot, but not his right boot, which was behind him. So in the end, it's just a little bit of a friendly touch on the footy.
And who gets the goal?
Martin. It's got to be Martin who gets that goal.
course. Here I am imagining that it's a behind because it's been touched, but it's his own teammate. So Martin somehow gets a goal. We'll have that credit towards him. He probably doesn't even realise it's come off his boot, but...
Correct.
There we go. Jack Martin gets a goal added to his tally for the year and he didn't even have to work for it. Geelong, 12-11-83, Essendon, 6-7-43, 26 minutes played in the third term.
Yeah, Essendon have been so impressive this quarter. That was just overuse, wrong option, and not knowing the rules. Run the ball through. You're under pressure, cop the point and make a play. Don't pay another penalty of 5 extra points.
Nice work by Smith in the middle to get it to De Koning. His underground hand pass is okay to Warple. Off to Smith and back to Warple, who had to track back to half-back, but got around the Merritt tackle. Then kicked long up towards attacking 50, over the head of Martin. Ollie Henry's there, receives it on the bounce. Could a hand pass, didn't. Was held to him, ball up. Right on the paint of attacking 50 here for the Cats. Tossed up quickly. Vicentini and Blitzarves. Blitzarves tried to get a kick forward, went by hand instead. Now that is a soccer assist by Ollie Henry to Manor in the forward pocket who kicks the goal. Well, he couldn't get it a minute ago. But this time there's no doubt that that's his goal. And if you have a look at Ollie Henry on the replay, he has flicked this out wide as if he's a number 9 in soccer. That was incredible thinking in these wet and greasy conditions by the hybrid forward. Geelong 13-11-89, Essendon 6-7-43, 4 minutes left in this third quarter.
As I said before about Manor, he doesn't care where he's on the ground. He just will have a shot, and more often than not he kicks those goals. They just don't appear to be flukes. He just knows how to kick a goal around his body. He's probably kicked more goals like that straight in front.
Yeah.
Really, he just likes doing it.
2 goals in a minute now for Geelong, and suddenly the Cats are back out to a 46-point lead. Back in the middle, it'll be hacked forward by Warple again, just soccering it forward. Going after it is Manor. Here he is, hand passes it inside forward 50 to Ollie Henry. Tries to shrug off a tackler, gets the hand pass away. Warple will do the tackling on Zach Reid, and we'll have a ball up 40 metres out from Geelong's goal. Vicentini tries to get the tap away. De Koning's there for Geelong. He can move it on to Manor, but Sean Manor is taken and wrapped up, and there'll be another ball up inside forward 50 for the Cats. They kicked the most recent 2 goals of the game, probably 2 in a minute, and they're up by 46 points in the third.
De Koning out wide to Smith, who got the quick hand pass away to Close. He spilt it now to Caldwell. Caldwell with a quick kick. This might end up out of bounds. It's going to be a lasso. So it's going to come right back in front of Tim Morgan downstairs.
The strange one here, Jack Howard, the umpire, is currently speaking to the Geelong doctor. It looked like he was potentially doing a bit of a concussion test. So just trying to figure out exactly what's going on. But yeah, a bit of a strange injury down here on the sideline.
Polkinghorne almost took the mark meanwhile. And he's going to go towards the ruckman, the Essendon ruckman, Vicentini instead. Now, I assume that's from the collision earlier that was in the forward pocket between him and Jack Martin. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any case to answer. Good mark by Wright, presenting on the wing. Takes a lovely grab in front of a couple of Cats defenders. Wright goes short. That's okay to Day Wicks as well. He's right in front of the interchange benches. So Day Wicks looking for a way out, slowing things down. 89 plays 43, so comfortable enough now for the Cats. Dying stages of his third term. High kick. O'Sullivan, he was the only man who attacked the footy. Tried to get it out, didn't quite make the boundary line. Day Wicks, who kicked the footy, follows up at ground level. His hand pass now to Merritt. Merritt, he's dispossessed. Warple shoved as he kicked it. And then it goes towards De Koning, who couldn't trap the footy, and it's out of bounds. Still in front of the interchange benches. So 46 points the margin in favour of the Cats. 30 minutes played in this third term. And Essendon showing some fight in this second half so far.
Light rain looks like it's coming back down again as well as the umpire throws the ball in right at centre wing. Vicentini taps it down towards Sharp, moves it on to Merritt, just hacks the kick away. Does Merritt all the way towards Day Wicks, who can't gain control of it. Spills to ground. Durham's there, charging in, takes it. He gets tackled around in a 360. And it's called ball. He didn't have much opportunity there, but...
Well, not only opportunity, he had the ball. And he broke the tackle. So if you break the tackle...
You need a second to be able to get rid of it.
Well, there's some weird decisions. I don't mean tonight. I'm just generally speaking about holding the ball or losing the ball or whatever the rules I want to change. It's just odd.
So Geelong with the footy, they work it through their defensive 50 and then tried to get it out to Guthrie, but it was out of bounds on the full. So Essendon will have the footy again just forward of centre wing. And Merritt will kick it right just inside 50. He was looking for Perkins, who couldn't take the mark. O'Sullivan was there and could move it away across to O'Connor, who just hacks a kick, and Merritt's there again to gather for Essendon. Hand passes it to Artemis. He'll go inside forward 50 for Essendon. It was a hurried kick. Jack Henry had front position, couldn't take the mark. O'Sullivan's there, just rolls along Kardinia Park before hand passing it back defensively towards Stewart. Dempsey takes it, hand passes it to Bruin. And they'll get out of trouble here, Geelong, as the hand pass comes to Bailey Smith, who takes a bounce as he's running outside of defensive 50. Hand pass to Manor. His hand pass was going towards Bruin. It's overrun. It's all getting messy. Sharp in the end can take the footy for the Bombers. His hand pass, a direct turnover, and Warple will hack the kick down the field.
It's a high kick, but it was well read by Reid, who takes the mark on his chest.
The old kicking in danger is well and truly gone, isn't it? Outside the fact that he's handed up in our booth here, maybe it didn't go far enough.
Kick out wide is good. Vicentini rose. Not sure if he touched that on the way through. He did. In fact, the Geelong players didn't think he did, but it was touched on the way through, so it's not going to be a lasso free kick. It's out of bounds. Ball in to take place, 70 around from the Essendon goal. Toss back into play.
Who's doing the ruck with?
Vicentini's by himself, and he grabs it, kicks forward into the pocket, tumbling ball, and this will find the boundary. 30 around now from the Bombers' goal, so a nice little net gain there. 13-11, plays 6-7.
Now Bloussard's going into the ruck. He must have been caught right out of it.
Andrew Mays and Lauren Borden calling the action for you this evening. Mick Malthouse, your expert on ABC Sport. Tim Morgan braving the weather downstairs from the stoppage. Great smother by Stewart, because Sharp read it beautifully off hands. Went the left foot snap, and Stewart smothered. We'll have another ball in 30 metres around from the Bombers' goal.
Late chance for Essendon in this third term. It's a term that they've won. After Geelong held most of the sway for the first half, Merritt just taps it away. He tries to go behind him to find Johnson. Hand passes behind him as well. McGrath's there to pick it up for Essendon. His hand pass is close to the boundary line. We'll have a throw in at half forward for Essendon, or it'll be a lasso free kick in the end. Out of bounds, touched by Essendon. So, no, we'll have a conference, of course, before we decide to give the footy.
Well, once the boundary umpire says it's what it is, that's got to be, unless you're going to review it.
Yeah.
Do they review these things?
Well, one bout, they are quickly. You can see him touching his ear at the moment and listening. So one umpire, the main umpire, who's got the footy now, called the lasso. He overruled the boundary umpire. They still went upstairs to check it.
Right, so in the end, Bailey Smith gets the free kick, and he kicks all the way down to the wing, where Sharp takes it, has the free kick, takes advantage. But there is the siren for three-quarter time at Kardinia Park. Geelong lead by 46 points at the final change, but it is moderate good news for Essendon in the sense that they won the third term. So Geelong up by 53 points at half-time, and now it's the Cats by 46 points at three-quarter time. They kicked four. This is Essendon, kicked 4-3 in that third term. And a couple of Geelong's goals came in a hurry late in that third quarter, which brought the margin back out to 46 points, the way of the home side here at Kardinia Park. The goal kickers so far this afternoon: Ollie Henry has 4 for Geelong. Ollie Dempsey has 4 as well. All 4 of Ollie Dempsey's goals coming in the first half. Jack Martin has 2, including one that came off the bottom of his boot. He might not even have realised, but a score review will pay that goal to Jack Martin. Shannon Neal has 1. Jay Polkinghorne has 1 as well. And Sean Manor, with a beauty from the boundary, has 1 for Geelong. For Essendon, Jacob Farrow has a couple. Archie Perkins, Archie Roberts, Nate Caddy, and Hussein Al-Achka, all with singles now. So it's Essendon trying to work their way into the game, and they were able to do that in the sense of kicking 6 of 7 goals at one stage there to fight back against Geelong, really, when they conceded the first 10 goals of the match. At halftime, though, it is Geelong 13-11-89, Essendon 6-7-43. At the conclusion of this match, we'll be heading off to Adelaide Oval for Adelaide taking on Richmond. We'll bring you a preview of that in just a moment. This is Saturday Night Footy on ABC Sport.
I'm Sana Kadar. Join me to explore the psychology behind the biggest questions in our lives, from relationships to stress levels to solving crime.
Your lie detection ability approximates chance.
Search All in the Mind on ABC Listen.
This is the 2026 AFL Premiership season with ABC Sport.
For the Cats. Off to Humphreys, who kicks off his left into the forward pocket. Lovely pick up by Redmond. Gave it straight to Ollie Henry, though, who says thank you very much, puts it on his boot and kicks it straight back over Redmond's head for a goal.
Humphreys kicks it out. It'll be a turnover. Essendon to take it at left half forward. Vicentini pops it inside forward 50 towards a leading Caddy on the lead, and he takes the mark. Caddy puts this shot towards goal 50 metres out. And he's the star of this Essendon lineup.
Dave Wicks does some roving. Did nicely to get the hand pass away to Johnson. Slams it on his left boot. Oh, Caddy's run all the way inside, attacking 50 to Durham. Hand pass over the top. All they've got to do is kick this. And Farrow does on his left. He's second for the evening. Vicentini and Blitzarves tried to get a kick forward. Went by hand instead. Now that is a soccer assist by Ollie Henry to Matter in the forward pocket, who kicks the goal.
The AFL on ABC Sport.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital Radio.
and ABC Listen.
So there were the highlights of the third term when Essendon staged a fight back against Geelong. The margin now 46 points, though, at three-quarter time, the way of the Cats. Essendon 6-7-43. Geelong 13-11-89 with a comprehensive lead heading into this final quarter. They've won the last 9 of their matches against Essendon. They've won 21 of the past 24 against the Bombers. So a lot of dominance from Geelong against Essendon. It's heading that way again tonight. Lauren Borden and Andrew Mays calling the action at Cardinia Park. Mick Malthouse, our expert, and Tim Morgan on the boundary. Earlier today, Melbourne defeated Fremantle by 4 points at the MCG, which will have ramifications for the top 6. Another match that will have ramifications for the top 6 and for both sides here at Cardinia Park, whether it's Essendon trying to stay off the bottom of the ladder or Geelong going for a top 6 position, is Adelaide and Richmond at Adelaide Oval. Your call team will be led by Aaron Bryans, who's at Adelaide Oval. What can we expect tonight?
Oh, Loz, I think you've laid it out perfectly, to be honest. It feels like it's going to be one-way traffic, but you never know when it comes to Adelaide Oval thrillers. We've had a fair few of them this year. But, yeah, because of the result earlier today with Melbourne and Brisbane winning last night, Adelaide just have to win this one. They've dropped down to 6th. The race for 4th is getting very tight. They've got Fremantle in 6 days' time. You wouldn't want to lose to the 17th place Tigers. They get Sam Berry, James Peatling, Rory Laird all back from injury. Riley O'Brien get to go at solo ruck with McAndrew getting a rest after playing every game. But the Tigers are fresh off their 3rd win of the season. They've got Nathan Broad's penultimate game. Judson Clark's going to play after 867 days, so 2 consecutive ACLs over the last 2 years. So there's some feel-good stories there for Richmond that maybe could motivate them to get over the line, and it would be a monumental upset if that is the case. We'll find out what's to come in a couple of hours' time, but there is a huge storm incoming here at Adelaide that's going to last about a week, and it probably is going to arrive around halfway through this fixture, so we'll see if that plays a role. As you touched on, Rod Jamieson, Lauren Arnell going to be part of the team. Premiership players, Tom Wilson will be calling alongside me. We haven't got the final teams just yet, but we'll let you know when they drop. And also there's some news coming out of the Port Adelaide game, Loz. We've been keeping an eye on the Power and the Swans, and Jason Horne-Francis has just come off clutching his knee after a stop and prop, so not good there for the Power superstar, which we'll keep you up to date with across the evening.
Thanks, Az. No, it didn't look good, Jason Horne-Francis, in that match against Sydney Swans. He's just come off not long ago with a knee injury. In that match, it is Sydney holding a comfortable lead, 21-10, 136, leading Port Adelaide 9-10. 64. There's about 9 minutes left in that match there, but I think Jason Horne-Francis will be a watch from that one, and a knee injury as he limped off there. Adelaide and Richmond to come following us at the conclusion of this match between Geelong and Essendon. Geelong ahead by 46 points. A storm on the way, Mick, through Adelaide, which means that'll hit Melbourne in a couple of days' time, and a lot of rain here as well. It's been pretty consistent. Stopped for a little while in the third term, but coming into this final quarter, Mick, we showed where Essendon was able to fight back for as long as they could in that third term. They're still dealt with a deficit of 46 points coming into this last quarter, but what can they show in the final term?
What they can show is just what they showed in that third quarter. They outscored the Cats by a goal, I think it was, or thereabouts.
Yep.
And it was more about, it wasn't even that, it was about their endeavour. And also player placement. I reckon their player placement looked a bit better. It just seemed to be they had harder players, and one-touch players around the ball, which you've got to have. I thought the young ruckman, correct me if I'm wrong, what's his name?
Visentini.
He was an asset to them. His use of the football is quite good, and he gets where the ball is, and I think that's important for a big ruckman like that. Their backline held up, Caddy held up, so if they can stay up in the contest, then they've come away a winner in my mind.
So that's Vigo Visentini. His brother Dante Visentini is at Port Adelaide as Essendon win the free kick at centre wing. Doggiatis takes it and chips it right to Visentini, who takes it and will put this kick to half forward. Dempsey came running in and clattered into Roberts as he punched it away for Geelong to move the footy to a neutral ball, and then it's kicked away and moved inside forward 50, where it'll go as Essendon players chase after it. Kako's one of them. Henry went after it too. That was Jack Henry for Geelong, rather. Couldn't take it, moved it out towards Wiltshire, who pulls it over the boundary line. We'll have a throwing that half forward for Essendon. Geelong ahead by 46 points coming into this final term. We're just a minute or so played in it.
That rain's starting to get heavy again here this evening. Constant presence in the first half. Eased off a bit in the third, but it's back and set in, it looks like, for the foreseeable future.
I think the Bombers would like it dry because they played the better football.
Sure did. Now, from the entrance inside attacking 50, this might be an Essendon free kick. It is. And it is Perkins, who was just held back by his opponent there, so wins the free kick, 40 out directly in front, and a chance for another early Essendon goal in this second half, this time in the fourth quarter.
Well, I know we've only gone one minute, but it's 10 possessions to 2, and that tells you a bit about the endeavour. And it's only early days, but the ball is in the front 50, and that's where Essendon want it.
So Perkins, he kicked a goal in the third, this for a goal in the fourth, and he strikes that really nicely. A couple of second half goals for Archie Perkins, and a nice start to the final term for the Bombers. 2 minutes played, 13-11-89 the Cats, 7-7-49 the Bombers.
Well, I think, Lauren, you said to me at three-quarter time, you know, what do you want from or what? It's not what necessarily I want. It's what the Bomber supporters want. It's what their coaching panel want. It's what I guess the football world want. It's just a good contest. I think we're a bit sick of these big blowouts. We've had so many of them through the year. We've had a couple over the weekend. We just want really good contest. From all accounts, the MCG one was a ripper today. This one here, first half miserable. The second half, though, the Bombers have taken right up to Geelong, and that's what their supporters want.
So here goes Visentini again. He rises high. Just can't quite get a clean takeaway from it. De Koning goes in. He gets tackled by Setterfield, which, could have been a free kick. As Setterfield takes it, hand passes it to Visentini, hand pass to Farrow. He hand passes backwards to Roberts, who hand passes it away. And it'll be Setterfield who's tapped up and pulled to ground, and a ball up inside the centre of Kardinia Park. It is Geelong ahead by 40. We can check in with Tim Morgan on the boundary.
Yeah, the rain's certainly getting heavier down here. Thought we'd seen the worst of it, but it's certainly come back with a vengeance. Good news for umpire Jack Howard. He's back out on the field. Plenty of concern over his head and neck after that collision with Jack Martin, but he's good to resume in the fourth quarter.
Kick out wide towards Caddy, who then kicks inside attacking 50. Durham fighting hard at ground level, beat a couple of Cats, and then it was pulled back in underneath him. Umpire circles and eventually says, I'll have it.
Yeah, really good decision by the umpire. You can be critical of him, but he watched that and it was never dragged underneath him, so he just stayed near the ball, and it was really well umpired.
Sharp just kicks it off the ground. It lands in front of O'Connor, so he's got to try and get rid of this. Not sure he did that legally. Humphreys forces it on the boot. McGrath's there to stop the defence as well. And now Kako, just had a look. And then at ground level was looking for some support, didn't come. Blitzar was able to win the footy. Hand pass over the top towards the run of Manor. Manor kicks long. He's got Myers out the back here. It'll skid to him at the top of 50. Just didn't quite sit for him. He leaves it for Ollie Henry. There's no one in front of him. Now numbers are getting back. Martin there for support. Off his left, snaps to guess who's got forward. Great spoil. Wonderful effort by Merritt, coming back with the flight. And not to give away the free kick to Dempsey, who was goal side. That is desperation from the senior leader. Will now take the kick in. Margin is 41 points.
He just goes with a chip kick towards Zach Reid, who's in the left back pocket for the Bombers.
That was Merritt. You that asked the question sometimes. Was it Merritt? It was fantastic effort. What a great gutsy effort to get there.
It's one-on-one with Dempsey as they were running towards goal. Reid's kick comes out to a hot spot where Visentini takes it, hand passes it over the top of his head to Kondogiannis, combines with Kako, who can put the kick just inside the forward 50. Looking for Perkins, couldn't take the mark, spills down. Caddy was chasing after it. It came off the side of his boot. And he's gained some territory at least, but he just couldn't pick it up cleanly. It'll be a throw-in inside forward 50 for the Bombers.
Working hard again here, Essendon.
Yes, they are.
It's another chance for them inside attacking 50. Ball in to take place around 30 from goal. Right to do the ruck work against Blitzarves. Player comes in and tosses it back into play. Right. Lovely tap towards Durham. Might have been taken high. Hand pass back into congestion. Alashkar got the hand pass away. Only as far as Mullen, though, to Stewart. He kicks quickly. And a little too wide. No. Just getting there at the last moment was Wiltshire. And that won't be a lasso. It'll be a ball in front of us in between wing and left half forward here for the Bombers. 41 points they trail by, although, as we mentioned, with about 7 minutes to go in the second term, Close had a shot to take the margin to 70, so it's been a very respectable second half.
As Close goes in after the footy, sliding in after it, can try and get it to Mullen. He does well to keep the ball in, just taps it in, but it's Sharp that collects for Essendon. Hand passes to Roberts. Hand passes backwards to Reid, who has to go and collect it, and then he's just pushed off the footy in the end by Neal. Drops it over the line, and that'll be a throw-in at half forward for the Cats. So Geelong ahead by 41 points. Again, the rain coming down in this last quarter. After a brief reprieve in the third, tossed in. Visentini just goes after it himself, takes it, and then loses possession of it. Shannon Neal has it. Hand pass to Smith. Hand pass to Wiltshire. Flicks it back to Neal, who spins around to 360. Tried to hand pass towards Warple. It went straight to Roberts of the Bombers. He's tackled by a couple of Cats and will have a ball up at half forward for Geelong. They're leading by 41 points and kicking towards the Barwon River end of the ground in this final term.
Visentini, I'm just watching him, he's absolutely out of petrol tickets at the moment. He actually asked Zach Reid to come up from fullback to take that ruck contest because he couldn't get there. Meanwhile, Durham has the footy. Hand pass inboard is good to Perkins from 60. Had a couple of options in the forward pocket. One of them's Alashkar. I slipped at the vital moment. Now he might be pig-folding the ball. No help to him. It'll be a ball up.
You can't just fall over like that.
No. He'd taken 3 or 4 steps, fell over and got tackled. And now he sees it out of bounds from the following stoppage. We'll have a ball in the left forward pocket for the Bombers.
Visentini's come off for a breather if you want an update on it.
That's why the wind's picked up. But how good has he been?
Yeah.
He was out of tickets.
Oh, he's out of tickets for one reason. His efforts.
Yep.
Well, there's a real plus for the Bombers. A real plus. He has a real crack, that kid.
Thrown back into play from the stoppage. Bursting through there nicely was Bruin. Got the hand pass away. It was good too to Clark, who just kicks a little dainty one forward into the path of Mullen, who takes it in front of Reid. Mullen has a couple of options short. Kicks it low and long, though, over the back here into the path of Langford, who nutmegged his opponent with a lovely little hand pass. Finds its way to Merritt. Merritt inboard by hand over the head there of Sharp, and then Mullen, lovely little bump, knocked his opponent off the footy. Smith there to mop up, works the 1-2 nicely. Now Smith off to Humphreys to Close, who got down low, knew the high tackle was coming, and wins the free kick.
Good pressure, though, from the Bombers as Geelong was trying to make their way down there. Smith had to stop at one point. He just couldn't move, and then the kick came down to Close, who was taken high.
Bombers had control of the ball, though. It was the next hand pass that just, on a day like this, kicked the ball in the forward line. You see what happens.
Close kicks Geelong inside 50. Redmond tried to claim the mark. Again, that might have been one of those ones that was touched.
Yeah.
And it'll be a ball up inside forward 50 for Geelong. So Reid does do the ruck work, taps it out to Setterfield, who just clears the kick away towards Day Wicks. He's taken in a tackle by Wiltshire and brought to the turf. And it'll be a ball up 48 metres out from Geelong's goal. retro round for Geelong in this round at Kardinia Park. So they've got collars on their jumpers, navy blue shorts tossed up, and it's taken by Warple, who wants to have a flying shot at goal from very close to the boundary line. It's out of bounds on the full, doesn't register a score. Geelong ahead by 41 points. They're leading by 46 points at three-quarter time. Archie Perkins with the only goal of the final quarter so far.
Short kick, he's not great. Straight to Warple in front of Langford. And he can go back and have a shot, Warple. He can kick a long footy.
Yeah, he can also butcher it like he had that last one. So this will be an interesting one. To redeem himself, he should go back and nail this. Talking to Lingy, this is where all the boys have their shots for goal at training. So he wouldn't be Robinson Crusoe, I'm sure.
I think he once won a torpedo comp before he got drafted down here at Geelong. I don't think he's going to go the barrel this time. In fact, I'm not even sure that was a shot. He's put it to the top of the square. It's punched through for one behind. Perhaps it was a shot.
The torpedo competition just for like under 18s players?
Nah, I think it was, sort of like an open community type comp. And he was just kicking barrels.
Right, that's good knowledge from you, Maisie. As Essendon take the kick in and find Langford at left half back. His kick was towards Artemis, dropped it inside defensive 50, fumbled it, had to hand pass it back to Pryor, who's going to be in all sorts of trouble now. Does well to just clear it outside of defensive 50 and kicks to two Essendon players standing next to each other. They butcher it. Setterfield and Farrow couldn't work out who to take it, and in the end it's Geelong that'll win the footy back here. The kick will come inboard.
Can you believe that? Two players from Geelong, from Essendon, standing next to each other. Yep. Both call each other out. Yep. Neither go for it.
Shoulder
They've got the whole week. They had 50 metres between there and their next Geelong opponent, and they bugger it.
Pryor did well to get him out of a bit of trouble there and clear it onto the open side of the ground, but they've butchered it, and now Mark O'Connor will have a set shot at goal. This one will go completely across the face. Martin tried to pull it in. He couldn't for Geelong. Kondogiannis takes it, and he can move it away, hand pass it away to Day Wicks, who puts it down towards Caddy, who again tried to rise, couldn't take the mark. It's stolen by Stewart for the Cats and cleared away to half forward where Neil will mark. Right half forward for Geelong. 55 metres out from goal. Almost went for the hand pass to Bailey Smith.
He's good for this. Yeah.
Yep.
And I know there's a little bit of drizzle, but he's a 60-metre kick, so I don't think 52, 53 metres is really going to bother him.
So Shannon Neal kicked 44 goals last year. He's got 39 on the season so far. A couple of games to come after this one today at Kardinia Park. Shannon Neal will release his kick from 43 metres out. Steers it through beautifully. And he salutes the crowd as well. Shannon Neal puts through his second from outside 50. And the Cats move 14-13, 97. Essendon 7-7, 49. Geelong's lead now 48 points, and Shannon Neal should have backed himself all the way there. He puts through his second, and the Cats are out by 48 points in this final term.
Oh, I don't think he lacked any confidence. Once he put the ball on the ground and rubbed his hands on his socks to dry his hands, there was no question he knew he was good for the distance. It was just a matter of that little bit of accuracy. But he's one of these tall players, on going back a long way. But Paul Salmon had a beautiful style where he, at 6 foot 10, 11, whatever he was able to get the boot to ball. There's Peter Moore's a bit shorter, but he's also that type of kick. And you just see these blokes, they massage the ball to their boot.
Geelong with the clearance from the middle as well. O'Connor spending some time up forward, was looking for the hand pass, held to him straight away. Umpire let it go for a long time and then called for it at the top of attacking 50. And he has no shape on his kick there either. It was just gun barrels straight off the boot. Beautiful strike of the footy. He's like one of those golfers who just effortlessly seems to be able to smack it 300 down the middle. That was a beautiful kick. From the stoppage at the top of 50, Merritt has it held to him, and we'll have another ball up, this time a metre inside attacking 50.
It's a free kick in the ruck contest for a hold. It'll be going the way of Essendon.
No one knows who's going to get a free kick.
Shannon Neal wanted it.
All the ruckmen have looked at each other and thought, well, it's not us, surely. And the smaller players asking the question, well, I'll put my hand up. I've got no idea where I'm getting it.
Jai Caldwell gets hand of the footy and says, I'll take it. So kicks it down the wing. It's Humphries that'll win out for Geelong, though. Hand pass to O'Connor. Swings it around and gets the kick to right half forward. One bounce and it'll go inside forward 50 over the top of Reid, who in the end does the tackling work to halt the footy at the top of attacking 50 for Geelong.
There's the difference between the two sides. That ball was a haphazard ball, got by Geelong and just whacked it over the shoulder 50 metres in the forward line, and now they've got a chance to score. Essendon, too often.
Close has got low again, and he's going to get another free kick here. He was first to the footy, but high contact, and he'll have another free.
He's close enough too.
Yep. And he's going to start his approach from outside attacking 50, but he'll kick from just inside. Pouring rain still coming down here at Kardinia Park.
Hasn't had a big game, hasn't had a big year. So he's the most vulnerable, if you like, who's going to come back in the side.
So Close from 40 out, kicks long. It's off the outside of the boot. Now there's a free kick, is there? There is. It is going the way of Essendon.
It has to be Essendon.
I think it's a reversal. So that score isn't going to count at all. So Perkins, who was standing the mark, not Perkins, it's
Roberts, I think.
Roberts, yeah, Archie Roberts. And he is going to repel. So his long kick out of there sees the fist of Guthrie, makes sure that he kills that contest, and is out of bounds just shy of centre wing. It must have been completely off the ball there.
Saw the umpire pull his jumper in a holding free, but you're right, it must have been a contest down on the goal line.
The amount of holding that goes on a goal line while people are lining up to have a shot for goal.
I don't know why that would be a free kick downfield.
Yeah. Well, it must have been before the kick. So,
has to be.
Yeah. Strange.
So, throwing at centre wing, Blitzard just hacks it with his boot all the way inside forward 50. Here he's Close, running in after it. He's on the ground. Pryor falls over the top of him, could get a hand pass away. Dempsey's there, and he can pick it up, just tries to hack it away on his boot. And in the end, it'll bounce over the boundary line for a throw-in. Inside forward 50 for the Cats.
Well, as he said, Mick, he had kicked it, so it really should be down.
If in fact it happened before. You can easily see this is one of those rare days we're playing in the wet. The mistakes made by both sides. Geelong have done very, very well, and they kicked the goals they have, and they kicked them, a lot of them, in the wet. Essendon basically got theirs in the dry.
Atkins picks it up for Geelong. Hand passes it away to Clark. 45 metres out from goal. Puts on another one for Geelong. A nice looking kick from Clark. And Geelong move out to a 54-point lead. 15-13, 103. They cracked the ton. Essendon 7-7, 49. So Geelong moving in the same vein as they have so often against Essendon. They're averaging 123 points against the Bombers in the past 5 matches they've played. So 103 where they sit at the moment. 18 minutes played in the final term. Holding on to a nice little 54-point lead where percentage will be important coming into the finals for the Cats.
Beautiful hand pass by Atkins. Really good defensive midfield stoppage work, and was able to latch onto it, set it blazing away, saw the player run past, half-back flank. Clark's been an interesting player. He's one of the early picks. Nothing happened for 12 months. That doesn't deter Geelong. They hang on to their players and then they make them into good players, and he's a really good player. So it's a terrific play by Atkins to get that hand pass out, and a great finish by Clark.
Vicentini into the ruck again. He wins it down to Merritt, and he's tackled immediately by Mullins. So Vicentini again down to Merritt, who got the hand pass away to McGrath. McGrath looking for the runners out wide. Farrow, hand pass is okay. Artemis did well just to get the hand pass away at the last moment to Farrow, who showed some composure to go back inboard. And now McGrath's going to receive this, who kept on running, kicks. Oh, almost a magnificent mark there by Condagianis, who was up for a long time, just couldn't complete it in the wet. It fell to ground, and it'll be a stoppage 30 metres out directly in front.
It was a good-looking leap. As Vicentini goes up as well for Essendon in the ruck, palms it down. It's picked up by Humphries, who falls onto the turf. Hand passes it away to Smith. Hand pass to Jack Henry. Spiralling kick will get to the top of defensive 50. Close in front position against Condogianis. Will punch it away, and it'll be a throw-in just inside attacking 50 for Essendon.
I'll say again, I'm very impressed in their young ruckman.
Yeah.
He's shown enough today to suggest that 12 months under his belt, and another one next year. He'll nestle into he got beaten badly that time, but he's only a young fella.
Yeah, Vigo Fizentini in just his third game and his first for this season for the Bombers as Smith takes it, hand passes it away blindly. Langford can pick it up for Essendon. Hand pass to Merritt, who'll retreat to Redmond, who's standing just backwards of the centre line. And he chips forward. Zach Reed's coming up to present. Centre wing, Reed will mark. Geelong ahead by 54 points as Reed puts it down to Roberts, left half forward. Slower approach from Essendon.
Here's another one, Roberts. They can build a bit on Roberts.
And Roberts to Caddy. There is something Essendon can build upon. No. Out of bounds on the full. It was close. Very close to the boundary line. Worth a claim from Caddy.
And not only that, the intent was... they've opened it up here in the middle of the ground.
So Jack Henry has the footy. Goes back into his defensive goal square.
There it is. That's the opening up. That's Geelong working. He picked it up about 10 metres away.
To Guthrie to Clark, and then Ollie Dempsey was out, but a great spoil going back with the flight by Day Wicks, and he finds the boundary line just shy of centre wing.
Yeah, really did save Geelong going into that front 50 there, Wicks. They've shown a bit of courage, the Bombers, from that first half, which was, let's face it, dreadful. They've shown a fair bit.
Toss back into play. Warple soccers it out of mid-air. It ricochets back into congestion. Durham clean. He kicks it off the side of his boot and out of bounds without anyone touching it. So a lasso free kick it is. Bailey Smith runs over to collect. At what point, Mick, there's nothing for them to gain in the last 10 minutes, the Cats. Do you think about bringing off a few of the key stars like a Bailey Smith who you wouldn't want to lose?
Oh, absolutely you do. And you do it as often as you possibly can because, mind you, you don't want to overexpose then the players who are might have to stay out there a bit longer in the wet. But nonetheless, if you've got anyone who's a little bit sore, don't like Blissards, for instance. He'd be a player that I would automatically be taking off and leaving off the ground. If you've left with a sore back, get him off. He is so vital for him coming into the final series. Is he off now? No, he's not off now.
I don't mind doing it, Geelong, though, and just putting a few players on ice late in the final term as it's punched away. Picked up by De Koning. Hand pass to Humphries. Well taken by Day Wicks for Essendon, who worked it to his advantage. Hand pass to Caddy, who just has a flying shot at goal. It'll land in the left forward pocket. And Tom Stewart's there to cut it off for Geelong. Chips down towards Clark, who marks ahead of Merritt. Still in the back 50 for Geelong. Sydney Swans winners by 97 points against Port Adelaide. At the SCG, we'll take you to Adelaide and Richmond at the conclusion of this match as Stewart with the footy can flare it out to the Hickey side of the ground, finding Graham Myers, who chips down to Dempsey, who's leading, comes off his shin and will ricochet towards Artemis, who takes it, tries to hand pass it to Durham. It's Caldwell that can pick it up and get it across to Durham. He chips towards Merritt, who's standing alone in the forward 50 for Essendon, and will mark 45 metres out from goal. He wants to chip it down. Kondogiannis puts himself in some space. Left forward pocket.
I've been impressed in Merritt. I'm a bit of a critic of Merritt. I think he's a pop gun shooter. He just gets it and kicks it 10, 15 metres. He's been better than that. He's saved a certain goal at the back end. He's been... The midfield, Geelong have been dominant. They've smashed him in the middle, but he's been able to stand up. He's had a lot of tough footballs to get. I've been really impressed in Merritt today.
Max Kondogiannis as well has showed some spirit for the Bombers across this afternoon. Lining up in the final quarter. This one will drop short and it'll just be off hands over the boundary for a minor score for Essendon. It's 53 points Geelong's lead. We've played 24 minutes in this final term at Cardinia Park.
Lawson Humphries with the kicking duties in the pouring rain here. He kicks long out of defensive 50. And De Koning just got rid of a couple of opponents, couldn't complete the chest mark. Parried it to Smith, who went back to De Koning, who kept on running. Forward hand pass, finds Atkins, got his hands free. And then Manor was clean to Dempsey. Back to Manor. Wiltshire tried to tap it to his advantage. And now the Bombers through Farrow. Now that has to be deliberate. He just wanted the boundary line there, Farrow. And almost dived rugby style to get over it, and he was paid holding the ball anyway. So Manor with the free kick will drive Geelong deep inside attacking 50. Now Neil was too good in that contest. Just shoved his opponent underneath it and took the chest mark, and he'll line up for his third of the evening.
I reckon there are 3 Essendon players who were pushed well and truly forward there. Umpire was level with that, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt that he saw it better than what we did, but I would really like to see that again. I just don't think the Essendon players had a chance to contest it.
So Shannon Neal, who kicked his last goal about 10 minutes ago with a pure strike from outside 50, a lot closer in on this occasion. Slight angle to the left, kicks from 35, nurses through his third. A big percentage booster here for Geelong. Margin back out to 59 points in favour of the Cats. 16-13, 109 plays 7-8-50. Neal has 3 for the evening. And the Cats storming towards a handy percentage booster. As we explained before, there are plenty around them on the ladder on similar percentages. So every bit will be important coming into these final couple of rounds of the season. Adelaide, who you'd expect to draw level on points tonight, have Richmond, so they want to try and stay ahead of them. And others around them include Melbourne, who are 1 win ahead but a lesser percentage. Brisbane, 117.8%, so they'll be looking to boost that as much as possible with a fair bit on the line in the next couple of weeks.
With Melbourne and Richmond to come for Geelong, Sydney and Port Adelaide to close out Essendon season. Back in the middle, taken by Setterfield. He's pulled down in the tackle and dispossessed. De Koning can just get a little hand pass out to Smith. He'll kick Geelong all the way inside forward 50. Polkinghorne went up, couldn't mark. There's a chance here for Manor. Tapped it to his advantage, running around. He chooses to hand pass it off towards O'Connor, who puts this one on his boot, and it's across the face. And just a minor score for O'Connor. The margin 60 points. Geelong 110, Essendon 50, 26 minutes played in the last term. Like you mentioned, Maisie, it did get out to 65 points in that second term. And it's back out to 60 in this final.
Roberts with a long kick. It was trapped by Henry. Henry's short kick in front is okay. Mark taken by Close. Vicentini down behind play here. Let's hope he's just cramping, although he got crunched in that pack. Doctor's out to him. He rolls over.
I think he has got cramp, isn't he?
Yeah, there's 3 medical staff around him now at the moment. Let's hope it is just cramp. He's back to his feet now, which is good news. Cramp/exhaustion, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it would be. And the fact is he probably isn't trained on a wet ground. He's playing on a wet ground. It does take it out of you. He looks like he's got more cramp than anything else, so it's not bad signs for the Bombers anyway.
Getting to his feet now with the doctor. Is he?
Mind you, I think he has just said he'd been crunched.
Yeah, he came to the bench. It's good news to see him okay. So now Brad Close is free to take his shot. Hasn't hit the scoreboard this evening. A couple of behinds, but no majors as of yet. 28 played in the final term, and he's looking to add his name to the list of goal kickers this evening. Brad Close kicks off the outside of the right boot. Was never looking on target. Through for another behind. 16-15, 111 the Cats. 7-8-50 the Bombers. Downstairs in the pouring rain, Tim Morgan.
And loving it. Mark Blitzarves, he's been on the bench for about 9 minutes now, and I just saw him take the headband off after having a chat to the doctor. So it looks like they're going to take the conservative approach and hold him back here for the rest of this game.
He's listening to
Called
Mick.
it Mick. So he's on the bench for the rest of this match. Geelong with a very comfortable lead set up by kicking the first 10 goals of the match. Essendon via Redmond at right half back. Move it forward to Farrow, who marks, and will put the kick all the way to half forward. But Tom Stewart sitting back there, like he did very often in the first quarter. He's back here in the last quarter, just holding things together in the Geelong back line and taking full control. He loads up on his kick down the Hickey stand side of the ground. Neal was leading forward, Langford behind, couldn't take the mark. Martin can gather for Geelong. Hand pass to Smith, whirls around and will be able to kick Geelong all the way to left half forward. The mark will be taken by Ollie Henry. He's got 4 goals so far this afternoon. He's 53 metres out from goal.
Yeah, he's indicated to his teammates he's going to kick. That means nothing though.
Yeah, late stages of this final term, might use up the full 30 seconds. Ollie Henry from a 45-degree angle arcs around, kicks from 52 metres out in the end, completely shanks it across the face of the goal, out of bounds on the full. You could hear that from the crowd. No change to the score. 61 points the margin. The crowd posted 33,379. So I think that's what Tim Morgan predicted at the start of the match.
And almost the same as Brisbane last night.
Back into congestion from the kick back into play. Players all around that. Farrow's there. It's surged forward by the Cats and out for a boundary throw in. This time just inside attacking 50. 16-15, 111 Geelong, 7-8-50. Margin at halftime was 53 points. It stands at 61, despite some Essendon resistance in the third term. Toss back into play. Right down. Wiltshire won it nicely. Looking for the short pass. It's on as well to Bruin, who's gotten forward and takes the mark on his chest. 45 out from goal, slight angle to the right.
Yeah, when Geelong have got the ball hooked into a pocket, their runners line up inside the front, inside the centre square, and they play the double game. They can defend it, and if something like that happens, they just stream in. We've seen Clark kick a goal like that, and for all intents and purposes, I reckon the Bruins just about the same thing. He was able to run off the centre square and into the open. It's almost undefendable.
So Tanner Bruin looking for his first goal of the evening, right on the siren to put a cherry on top. It comes back and he finishes the job. The final margin, 67 points. A big boost to the Cats' percentage, and they are well on their way to September again. So the Cats, the final score, 17-15, 117 to Essendon, 7-8-50. Tanner Bruin's goal on the siren, completing a 67-point demolition. Although, as we said, it did look a lot more concerning halfway through that second term, but the Essendon resistance kicked in.
We've got to finish the goal song before we can get to...
Wow, it's a long goal song too. I reckon they completely forgot there as well. Hey, Cats fans, have a listen.
We are Geelong, the greatest team of all. We are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played, at home or far away. Our banners fly high from dawn to dark, down at Gardenia Park.
So the final score here at Gardenia Park, 17-15, 117 the Cats, 7-8-50 the Bombers. A pretty comfortable win in the end. Goal kickers, we'll start with the Cats. 4 to Henry, 4 to Dempsey, 3 to Neil, 2 to Martin, and 1 each to Manna, Polkinghorn, Clark and Tanner Bruin on the siren. For the Bombers, 2 to Farrow, 2 to Perkins, and 1 each to Caddy, Elashka and Roberts.
Stand up and fight, remember our tradition. Stand up and fight, it's always our ambition. Throughout the game to fight with all our might, because we're the mighty blue and white. And when the ball is bounced to the final bell, stand up and fight like hell.
So there it is, Geelong. Their home ground, Gardenia Park, winners against Essendon by 67 points. The 10th consecutive win that Geelong has had against Essendon. So some real dominance against the Bombers. They've won now 22 of the past 25 matches against Essendon, stemming all the way back to 2006. So a couple of decades of dominance against Essendon. They're in their retro jumper tonight with the collar. And big winners, as Maisie said, really important for percentage. And the match tonight will play a big part in determining the top 6 as well. That's Adelaide and Richmond that's coming up from Adelaide Oval. We'll take there in about 13 minutes' time. We'll wrap up the match here, though. Geelong 17-15, 117. The Bombers 7-8-50. So despite Essendon with an improved performance from about the 28-minute mark of the second term, the margin ends up still being 67 points, which is the biggest that it has been all day. Geelong winners by 67 points. Mick, what did you take out of that match as an overarching theme? Maybe looking at Geelong first. And they came here, they did what they needed to do. And, I mean, Essendon came back at them and they still were able to, absorb it eventually and extend the lead back out to 67.
Lauren, I reckon what we said before the game was it'll be, if it's a 10-goal result.
Yes.
That's around about what we expect. And what was it, 10 goals...
What's that, 11 goals won?
Thereabouts. So,
but no, spot on.
So we're close enough to say that the game went almost according to plan. there's an old saying about, everyone goes, wet weather, well, this is the old grounds where they used to get wet, bring sides back. Yeah, it can marginally, but what stands out when it's a bit dewy, a bit wet, in this case it's been raining, the better players have got better touch. They stay on their feet, they use the ball better, and interestingly enough, Essendon's big run was in the third quarter. Yeah, they kicked the last 2 goals in the second quarter, but they really made the third quarter almost their own, and it was when it was dry. Started to get a bit wet again, mistakes entered into it, not through endeavour. I've got to say, Essendon after half-time, their endeavour was quite, it was highly acceptable. They really had a crack. They didn't bow down. Geelong had to earn their goals. A few fundamental errors, overuse of the football. Geelong, in these conditions, got it. Overall, Geelong had they had 55 more possessions, but they got the ball inside front 50. Let me have a look here. I'll just see if I can get this up. 11 more times, but they got it in there quick, and they were able to get it in there not only quick, but into marking positions or running positions where you run past and you have a shot on goal. So Geelong used the ball better, and when it was crunch time in the wet, one extra hand pass of Essendon either wet the ground or got caught, the ball stopped, forwards were then alienated, couldn't get near it. Whereas, for some reason, in that third quarter, when they moved the ball quickly and made Geelong accountable, I think they may have actually outscored 4-3. They did. They outscored Geelong, and that was mainly built on the back of solid players around the ball. And I'm talking about McGrath, and a good young ruckman. But that stopped when the rain come down again. Just that one bit of. So the Cats invested in that. They made sure that the ball was bludgeoned forward, got forward, marked forward, kicked forward, off the ground forward, and then you have to bring the ball back. And Geelong made you pay to bring the ball back. And when the ball goes forward like that, they're able to put enough pressure on to score. In the last half, they scored 7 goals to 5. Yep. 7 goals, 6 to 5. And a lot of that was on the back of the fact that they forced the error. They had the bigger bodies. They made less mistakes, and they're a better unit. So even looking at the goal scorers, you've got Ollie Dempsey kicked 4 all the first half. Yes. If I'm giving votes, and I'm giving votes, I think you're the man to give us votes today. Yeah. I you look at him and you think, gee, at halftime he's going to be best on ground. Yep. I couldn't give him a vote in the end. Yep. Certainly in the top 10. But I couldn't give him one of the best 3. Ollie Henry, I reckon he kicked 3 in the first half on the back of a couple of, well, I'm not going to say cheap ones, but certainly didn't earn them the same way as Dempsey. Next was Shannon Neal, 2 in the last quarter. I thought he was well held after quarter time. In fact, didn't really feature that well. But overall, Geelong had too many consistent players. If I was looking on the other side of it, Merritt today demonstrated why clubs would get him. As I say, I've been a bit of a critic of him from time to time, but I thought he was terrific tonight.
Dyson Sharp, I think, had a career-high disposal count of 27, and he was, I thought he was quite solid today.
14 contested positions. Yeah. That's pretty good. 7 clearances. I don't know what age he is, young Sharp, but he's
19. He's only 19. He's playing in his 13th game.
Yeah, so there's another plus. I was a bit critical early on, saying what have they got? Well, I reckon today they've emerged with a ruckman. I reckon we know that Caddy's a very good player. Young Sharp, 14 contested, 7 clearances. Unlucky not to get in the votes, but you couldn't get too many Essendons in a vote where there's 3, 2 and a 1. I thought Pryor was okay in the back half. Roberts is, he's a good player. Roberts, get a few more better players around, and they'll be. Farrow's okay. Perkins kicked a couple of goals, but when it's all said and done, the calibre of Geelong, what it meant to them, how they play this ground, a little bit of wet, and good players stand tall. They're always going to win the game, and as we said, 10 goals before the game, they've won by 11.
What we expected.
So we're wrong.
We can head into the winners' rooms with Tim Morgan.
Yeah, they're just circling up now. Tom Stewart led them in after a fairly comfortable win down here at Geelong, and so we'll get straight into the song.
Hey, we are Geelong, the greatest team of all. Hey, we are Geelong, we're always on the ball. We play the game as it should be played. Hey, our Geelong more far away. Our banners flying high from dawn to dark. Gonna get in your park.
So there are Geelong down in the winners' rooms here at Cardinia Park, their 13th win of the season. Mick, we should get your votes. We'll try and get some reaction before we're off air in about 7 minutes or so time. If not, we'll send it across to Adelaide Oval to be played a little later on tonight on ABC Sport. But the 3-2-1 in the ABC Footballer of the Year award votes for Mick Moldhouse.
Sure, there's apologies to a few players because I thought Geelong dominated, but Essendon had a couple of players that are on the up. There's no question about that. And I thought McGrath, I'll use him as an example. I thought he was probably wrongly used, but he got back in the game and played pretty well. Dempsey, as I said, I thought Clark off the halfback flank was very, very good. But there were 3 votes. Stewart won.
Yep.
400 metres travelled. Just was. Even the last mark he took, it was a contested mark. He just monster. He's not that tall, but he's monsters plays. Gets in the right spot. Fantastic. I've given Merritt 2. 29 possessions, 650 metres. No, 400 metres, 8 clearances. He had 6 inside 50s for a side that... And when I look at the save in the back pocket, certain goal to Geelong, and he threw himself at it, He's heart and soul's on it. And number one, I've given it to Smith. 38 possessions, 750 metres, 8 clearances, 8 inside 50s, 15 contested positions. I thought he was just too good for him.
So there we go. Bailey Smith, 3 votes, Zach Merritt, 2 votes, and Tom Stewart, 1 vote in the ABC Footballer of the Year award. We can get some reaction straight away with Tim Morgan down in Geelong's rooms.
Yeah, I got Tom Atkins alongside me. Tom, fairly comfortable win in the end. Just talk me through the performance, what you made of it.
Yeah, I thought we started really well. Our first half was awesome, and then maybe just a bit of a patch in the third quarter where we let ourselves down. But, it's a tough game to try and get right for every minute, and I feel like we corrected it and finished strongly at the end there.
You had that little blip around the bye where the results weren't going your way, but do you feel you're building some real nice momentum with finals around the corner?
Yeah, definitely. That's been our focus, just to keep building on each week. And we played some really tough teams. Melbourne and Collingwood were a great win. And then, look, going forward, we've got North Melbourne who are up and about. So we've still got some big challenges ahead of us. But, we're all just feeling good and, keen to give the next couple of games a crack.
Yeah, sitting in the 6 as it stands, how important or how big is the difference, do you reckon, between a top 6 spot and then obviously below and playing in the wild card at the moment?
It's massive, I'm not going to lie and say it's all the same. I think having an extra week, it'd be really hard to challenge and win the grand final from there. If it happens for us, we'll do our best and we'll take our best shot. But, look, we're definitely aiming to try and get top 6.
Obviously been a huge couple of days for the club. How does that impact the playing group? Was it discussed heading into this one? No, not at all. No, there was... I think we just wanted to throw our arms around Collar and support him. It's never easy when you're in the headlines like he's been, and to his credit, he's just taken in his stride. And the most important thing for him was that we were, business as usual. So we're just looking after him. Were you shocked by the news?
Was I shocked? Look, I'm not really going to speak on it, to be honest. It's between Collar and his family. It's a personal decision, and that's probably where I'm going to leave it.
Tom, thanks so much for your time. Well done today.
Cheers.
So there we go. Tim Morgan down in the rooms with Tom Atkins, who spoke a little bit there about Geelong needing to make top 6, or I guess the real want to make top 6 to ensure you get that week off and things are a little easier from that point. And obviously mentioning Jake Kolodjasny and just trying to get around him. And it's interesting to know how the club would have dealt with that. I guess there's a lot of things that happen when you look at Essendon in, say, in a coaching hunt. That's something that maybe happens beyond the players, but this is obviously one of their own. So it's what's the impact been like for them who are playing with Jake throughout the year? He's an emergency, and I guess what they did for him, and maybe they just treated him as per usual. But yeah, Tom making his decision there not to say too much about it.
Well, he's right. Right. What can players add to that? And they're right to support their teammate. It's a club thing. It's not a player thing, and they'd be oblivious to it. They would have turned up at training and gone, what in the hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
It's not something they'd be part of. So I get that. And does it affect players on the ground? No, I don't think so.
No.
In fact, there wouldn't even be a rally call. It wouldn't even be, oh, look, we've got to, show that we're what we are. It'd just be get on to business. They know what their business is. It's got to. They've been in this business for a long time of making the 8. Finishing up as high as they possibly can. This year's no different. Today was no different.
Yeah, the Cats show they meant business, kicking the first 10 goals of the match to build a 65-point lead. Essendon were able to work it back to 46 points at three-quarter time, and in the end, the final margin was 67 points. We're about to head off in about 80 seconds or so time, Mick. Adelaide and Richmond coming up. One-way traffic in that match ahead, or what are you feeling from the Tigers?
No, it should be. It should be. As I say, this end of the season, the Tigers have got nothing to fight for. They will go out there and try to play football, but when you know what's at stake, that should take over. I'm not convinced about Adelaide at the moment. They've got to go right through a process again of not being bullied, not only being able to beat the bottom sides, they've got to be able to beat top sides. So they'll prove nothing by winning, but what they do is they'll jump back inside the top 6, and that's where they've got to be. They've got to aim for top 4 clearly, but without going to the top 4, you've got to go to the top 6. So that'll be their big test. The test of the Tigers is stay sound, keep as many of the young kids as another game, another hostile crowd, playing in wet. It is apparently going to be wet conditions. Learn what you possibly can and go forward for next year.
So that is what's coming up next. Adelaide and Richmond from Adelaide Oval. Your call team, Aaron Bryans, Tom Wilson, Rod Jamieson, Lauren Arnell and Josh Money on the boundary. From Condinia Park, it is Geelong winners by 67 points against Essendon.